All right, we lost.
All right, guys. So forgive the background noise, but all right. Hey, welcome to another episode of The Radar. Myself, B. Lee, and King John here. We're doing it up here. So in accordance with the trivia winner, yes, or last week, which was none other than a Johnny, he has indicated that we are going to go ahead and talk about and discuss, throw around, debate who or what was rather the best defenses of all time. See if we can get that narrowed down. I mean, I have a couple ideas. What mine was, I'm going to see kick it off though with King John. What do you have as far as I guess your best defenses? Maybe top three.
Well, for me, even though I think the 91 team was a better defensive team, I always say the 95, 96 Chicago Bulls was a better defense, the best defensive team I personally seen. They only allowed 92 points per game. They had three players on an all defensive first team with Jordan, Scotty, and Rodman. Um, I just think they played a better grade of team defense, and I believe the one weakness Jordan used to have is he used to mess up the team defense. I think he was a better team defender at that point in his career. So I think the 95 Bulls, the 91 Bulls, and the 03-04 Detroit Pistons. Those
It's a good list. And such blasphemy against Michael Jordan, though, John. Such blasphemy. I agree with you, though. I think he became a much more refined defensive player, especially from like 90 to like 93. I mean, that's a great take.
yeah.
So play a little bit more like concise on ball defense rather
Yes.
than gambling. I agree with you. I think 96 was amazing just because, yeah, I mean, you had still arguably a prime defensive Rodman, Pippen, and then, yeah, Mike coming back was very disciplined. I think 96 is probably one of my things. I definitely want to go with the 64 Celtics, though.
Okay.
Um, if we're just talking numbers, I get it. There were, less than 10 teams, and so there wasn't like a huge sample size, but that, I guess, statistically is still, I mean, I guess from the defensive rating is still the best defensive team of all time. Obviously led by the GOAT of defense himself, but I'm also going to say the '04 Spurs. Oh, I'm sorry,
No, you're
yeah, no,
right. You're right.
2004 Spurs. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They were, I think, either second rated of all time, but that was prime Duncan. They had a bunch of studs in that team. Like you look at the roster, you have like not only but you had like Mario, you had like I still think Bone was on the team. Pretty sure Ori was there too. Uh, that team was just led by a transcendent Duncan, and obviously Pop. But I mean, that team was amazing. There's so many. '04 Pistons is a great call out though. I mean, any dark horses? You think?
Um, you said the Spurs. Well, I swear I was looking up a list of best defensive team. I swear the Spurs kept coming up. The
Of
80,
course.
it's crazy because I know it was a shortened season, but the 98-99 Spurs team was on the
Hmm.
list of one of the top defensive teams. The Spurs really did their thing defensively for years, and I don't think they get the. I think Duncan get the credit for being a great defensive player. I don't think the Spurs get the credit they deserve as a
Yeah.
great defensive team because
Yeah.
that's what their basis was being great defensively. So um, sometimes in the modern day, I think the Spurs need to almost become. It's just the modern day team is one of the greatest defensive teams ever. Just the modern day team. I know there's other great defensive teams, but I think in the
Hmm.
modern day that they should be looked at as one of the great defensive teams ever.
No, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, modern day, it's yes, we know the game evolves. Yeah, that's like the Spurs just really went about their business. They were just there to play. They would shut you down. They played very high IQ on both ends
Yes.
of the floor, and it just whenever you keep like we keep coming back to it, it just really to me it It just says that maybe I have Duncan ranked too low, even though he's top five to me.
How about the '08 Celtics? You like them defensively?
Facts. Yep. Hugely. I mean, didn't they have DPOY Garnett?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they were filthy. Like they had. I still think they had Kendrick Perkins around. They had Rondo.
Yes.
Like everyone was. Didn't they have Tony Allen? No.
Tony Tony Allen was there. He won that
Yeah,
championship.
that's
Yes.
right. Yeah. So
Yes.
that team was. You talk about like you had to have an answer for Kobe or in the Lakers. Like
Yes.
that team was
Yes.
out
I
there.
mean, that's the reason they lost because of the defense they put on them. That '08
Yeah.
Celtics team was a great defensive team. They had a great defensive mindset. They had a great defensive coach, and Tom Thibodeau. Um, his name is still here because of that defense he played. Because he was a defensive, he wasn't a coach, but he was the defensive coach for that team, and he's still around today because of that '08 team. So I mean,
Yeah.
I like the job Tom Thibodeau did. He continues to do it. That's the stamp of all his team is supposed to be defense. Even though this year New York, I think they rated number 14th or 15th in defense this year, maybe even lower than that. But that's always been his stamp as a coach, as being a defensive type of coach. So uh, it's hard to keep coaches around like that today because everybody's so offensive minded. But um, we got some great defensive teams out there, and we can keep naming teams if you want to.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Like there was. I think there's like so many underrated defensive teams. Like you had like '07 Bulls. Like that
Yeah,
team, I think goes
Tom,
under the radar
Tom
too.
Thibodeau, Tom Thibodeau coach
Yeah.
team.
Exactly. Taylor, like, I mean, he's going to be one of the go-to coaches for a reason, just because of
Yeah,
how
of,
ridiculous it is.
of course, the Detroit Pistons, that '04 Detroit Pistons team was. I mean, what Rasheed Wallace brought to that team, because he was a great man-to-man defender. And I believe Ben Wallace was a great defender, but I think he was a better roamer defender, meaning he can come off the weak side and cause havoc on teams. I think that's what Ben Wallace did great, is come from the weak side. So instead of him being man to man, Rasheed Wallace took the best, and Ben Wallace was the doubler, or he was just a roamer around there. So I believe that defensive team was just, I mean, they held teams to. I still think a healthy Karl Malone. I think the Lakers win, but I believe the '04 Detroit Pistons deserve their credit because they did it and they won a championship with it. So
Yeah, I think that, yeah, and like that team had so many like fundamental, like good, like defensive pieces, right? Like they had Prince,
and
they
Larry
had,
Brown was their coach. You know, he was a defensive coach as well. So
yeah, Rip Hamilton was there. Yeah, they
yeah,
had, yeah, I
they,
mean, that was a very, they had Billups, they had like a very lengthy team that was like
yes.
super good at like taking away your strengths, like who's gonna, I get it. Like Shaq was able to kind of get his against Walls, but not to really the same degree he was, gonna eat against everyone else.
I mean, we
But
got
that was,
the Knicks. You got to get the Knicks that credit too. That '92, '93 Knicks team, they was a good
yeah,
defensive team as well. We have to get all these teams on. The Knicks, they was known for defense. That's what they did.
yeah. I
Uh,
remember that Knicks team was the only team. Remember that had the three players in the top five DPY of all time. Like
yeah.
ever finish that?
Also, that's the same team that had the Bulls down 0-2 in the
Yep.
playoffs.
Mm,
So they had a defense. I think Pat Riley was their coach at the time.
yeah.
Pat Riley was the coach, and I mean, you can kind of sometimes some of these coaches you can kind of stamp who they is in some of these teams, great
Hmm.
defensive teams, because that be their basis of who they are as coaches. And even though Pat Riley started with the Lakers, and they was the Showtime Lakers before Pat Riley, but when he moved over to the Knicks, and Pat Riley still is a coach and an executive over there in Miami,
Yeah.
defense is defense is the stamp, and that's what keep him having good teams.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to, yeah, a lot of people that don't. I mean, it's like there's so much goes into it. It's like any team. It's just like any sport. If you have good drafting, if you have smart management, smart GMs, they're gonna it's smart draft, scouting too. You're gonna know what your team needs, how they're gonna mesh in there, and that's why you can have sustained thing. That's why I think that's part of the reason why obviously you have like two of the dynasties like the Lakers, they had like incredible role players too. Like I think that 01 team, at least in the playoffs, gets 01 Lakers team gets slept on defensively a little bit, but they turn it on right when it mattered. But we have
What I want to tell the people out there, I
yeah.
want y'all to go look at that Lakers Dallas game they just played. The defensive, you could tell what he did defensively. They were going to double Anthony Davis all day. That was their game plan to double Anthony Davis. So what they did was they fronted Anthony Davis and they had the weak side guy play the middle so you couldn't lob it over, right? So what Dallas did to counter that, they put in another big so that when you try to do, they could try to throw the lob. And what they did was flash the big to the top of the free throw line, made that weak side guy move up so they could throw the lob to Anthony Davis. And what the Lakers did to counter that is they went up at the center on the offensive end, and that was LeBron's matchup. So they forced them out of that defensive thing so they can go back to what they were doing defensively. I believe what the Lakers did, what JJ Redick is a coach. I know he's great offensively, but some of these defensive game plans he's been coming up with this season, I never saw that in him. I know he's never been a coach, but I didn't think he would be that smart of a guy defensively. But what he does defensively is crazy because I've seen some of these game plans he come up with, and the way he can even counter somebody's defense offensively to get you back to what they wanted to do is is amazing. So I want people to start paying attention to some of these defensive game plans that coaches come up with. And you know, when I hear sometimes that people talk about LeBron is no longer a good defender, I posted something recently about it was what the LeBron James defensively did, and it was crazy because people would tell me, "Well, LeBron James ain't good defensively." I said, "You must not be watching the game because I'm seeing what he's doing. He's tagging, he's recovering. I mean, it's crazy what he's doing defensively, but I don't think people pay attention to defense that much. And sometimes it has to be explained to people for them to understand. Even to the media, it has to be explained to because a lot of times you can tell them who's great defensively and they don't know. So I need people to start paying attention defensively what's going on so they can really understand defense.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think they have been an underrated like him, like this guy at Chester. Like they have an underrated coaching staff. Like I think JG caught a lot of flack because coming in because I mean, yeah, he was on the podcast and stuff like that, and he was probably a Ron's friend. But I think he has an underrated coaching mind. Like he has
Yeah,
also has a great style. He has like Scott Brooks. He has Nate McMillan on his team as well as far as the coaching staff. But they they have they come prepared every night. And yeah, you made a great point. That thing about the what is the narrative that LeBron doesn't play defense, I think is really stupid because he's obviously, as with any, I hate to default to this, but with any, you know, year whatever player, obviously he's not the
yes,
freakish player that he was 18 years ago, but he still has a high IQ on both ends. He's directing defense. He still plays, good, fundamental defense as far as like
yeah.
man on man. Obviously he's not going to close every time it's fast, but I don't think that he's really a liability on those ends as much as like some of the narratives are, but um, I think that there's no reason Lakers, if they're healthy, they can't really beat anyone because they don't really match up poorly with a lot of people, with a lot of um, with a lot of teams. I still think it's going to be OKC coming out, but Lakers, they showed us, they beat them. They split the games, and they probably would have won that game if Luka hadn't been ejected. So
Yeah, they would have. They would have won them. They would have won both
yeah,
them games versus
yeah,
OKC. Yeah,
yeah, and it's crazy, but we'll we'll really think it like it's about to start. It's only 2 games left. I mean, what are your
For some
predictions
teams,
there? John?
for some teams, there's only one game left.
Yeah.
You know, I wish some of these in the West that it was more settled to who was going to be playing who,
Mm-hmm.
and we could have a real good conversation about who playing who.
We'll
Because
find
like
out tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow we'll find out everything can be settled because right now you got OKC one, Houston two, the Lakers. The top three is set. One, two, and three
Yeah.
is set. Is 4 through 10 is not set. I mean, we gotta wait
Yeah.
for tomorrow to see what's 4 through 10 to see what the matchups are in the West. But I think in the East everything is kind of settled. I was hoping New York would play Detroit in the first round. This I wanted to really see that, and as of right now, I think that's the matchup. I want to watch that series because I actually think Detroit can win that series. I think it's a good series that people should go watch. It's going to be a good defensive series, and I think Detroit is healthier than New York is right now, and I think Detroit goes into this series with nothing to lose, and they got a young star out there who's ready to show who he is, and I think he's going to show something in this first round matchup versus New York. I mean, you're going to have all the eyes on you versus a New York team, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
Detroit really show. I think they could. I think they could beat New York in the first round. That's it is. A lot of people ain't gonna tell you that, but that's a series I really want to watch. New York and Detroit.
That'll be a great. They have Detroit. Low key has been slept on all season. I mean, obviously they've been a little inconsistent, but they're really coming on now. Like you have, look at their roster. They have Cade Cunningham. He's amazing.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley have been really underrated. Um, Same thing with some of their bench. You know, like they have like Isaiah Stewart.
yeah, yeah, they got
Um,
a real solid bench. I love their bench.
yeah, I was gonna
So
say like my dark horse. I mean, at least is the Magic. I mean, I'm a Patriots fan. Like, I mean, I don't think either the 4 seed, but they'll have to show me something. But I think the Magic, dude, are poised to make some noise. I just love their roster. I know I mean, been soup kind of inconsistent, but I love like their roster. I love how they match up with people. I love what they can do when they're healthy and playing together. Like Ben Caro and Wagner, I think are two of the most dynamic, pairings in the game right now.
yes, right.
Uh, and I mean, they have a bunch of guys who can make shots. I mean, so I mean, if it was them, it's like it would be like them and the Pacers, right? So, or them and we'll see. I mean, it's going to be them Celtics, right? So, I mean, I think it's tough. They don't match up well with the Celtics, but I still think the Celtics are probably going to come out of the East. But I mean, all respect to the Cavs, but it's going to be. I don't think there's a clear cut favorite coming out there. Who
I
knows?
think I think your take on Orlando is great. They were inconsistent because of health issues.
Yeah,
I don't think if they have the injuries they have, they may be top three, top four in the East easily. Uh, and
yeah,
I just hope they go into the playoff fairly healthy. I think they can cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams, and I hope because they're gonna play in the play-in because of the whole thing. But if it stay as is, they will play Boston in the first round, and they're gonna get Boston a lot of trouble with their length, and they big with their length. It's not like they some small lengthy guys. They some
yeah,
big lengthy guys over there in Orlando, and they can cause some problems. They good defensively.
yep.
They know who they going to offensively. I love the sets they run offensively. I love their weak side sets they run offensively, and Orlando could really cause some problems for some teams in the East. So I hope teams don't take them for granted, and I just want tease the why I like your Orlando pick, but shoot that Denver if Denver and the Clippers played first round, I think that could be a really good series.
That will be a good series,
I'm
especially if like everyone's healthy.
Dude, that may be the best first round matchup this playoffs. Denver Clippers if they play each other, I believe
Hmm.
that series alone. I would sit down, have my popcorn ready, and I will sit down and watch every minute of that series all day. That'll be a series I want to talk about if that series, if that end up being the series in the first round, because I think that could be a great series to watch it
Oh,
for
for
people to
sure.
pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean nobody wants to play your Bulls either, man. Like
No, I was just
they're
talking to
dangerous.
a friend of mine about the Bulls, and because they was planning to play in, and they were just like, I think they could beat Miami, and we was talking about where if they had to play Orlando and Atlanta, and I was like, friends of mine think they would match up good versus Atlanta. I said, I said Atlanta got a Trey Young, and Trey Young goes into series like he feel like he's the best player on the court, regardless of who he playing against, and he has playoff experience. I would just say for Orlando, I think Orlando would take them for granted and maybe give them a game. So if I was Orlando, I would pay attention to the Bulls if they had to play the Bulls in the play-in. But I think Orlando would beat Atlanta. But no, don't
Yeah,
nobody want to play my Bulls either. But uh, I don't think the Bulls made the playoffs. But I believe they play Atlanta, they can have a good game versus Atlanta and make the eighth seed. And we're gonna see what's going on from there. I mean, I believe basketball fans are gonna get good playoff basketball. And we,
yeah.
yeah,
Because I think you look down the standings, and there's no like, I should think there's no like one team in this playoffs that are like, hey, we'd love to face that team. Maybe someone like the Kings or something, but like, it's just like there's not like an easy out where teams are just like, hey, let's circle them. We want to definitely like, beat them in a 7 game series. I mean, it's because every team like has shown flashes. There's like there's a ton of parity right now, and even like I think like people teams are peaking, like the Bulls, like the Magic, like the Rockets, things like these. Hell, I mean, even the Lakers have been like a little inconsistent on the stretch, but I think they're pretty healthy right now,
yeah,
and they're finally kind of rounding into form as far as like their identity. So they'll be if it's them and the Warriors, that's obviously going to be must watch basketball.
yeah. Yes, that will be. That
We'll find out if it's them or
I
the
also think
Wolves.
it's going to be them and Minnesota. But I don't know
Hmm.
how the tiebreakers work out till tomorrow. Uh,
Mm.
but I don't think it's going to be any sweeps in the
No.
playoffs this year. I don't predict not one sweep
Yeah.
in this year playoffs. So I believe if people really want to watch some good basketball in the playoffs this year, I don't want to hit no excuses. I think you need to sit down and watch some of these games, and I think you're going to get good games from every series. So I want to watch. I want to see what Milwaukee do this series because I think they said Dame may be back for the playoffs. I know he had the blood clot situation,
Hmm.
and they were saying that's a 3 week recovery. But I was reading the report yesterday that he may come back for game one of the playoffs. So uh,
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes to Blue Bolt's question there. I mean, yeah, if Dane comes back, I think they beat the Pistons, but I mean, it's
right
really
now they
just
will play
how.
Indiana. Right now they
Yeah.
will play Indiana.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. They play so it'd be 4-5. So the Pacers. I mean, I think they beat the Pacers if they're fully healthy because you still don't have an answer for Giannis. And
Yeah,
I mean, it's really just can the Pacers make their shots versus like how good is the Bucks defense going to be? Bucks have won 7 in a row. I mean, it's just I think that's going to be a fantastic series. Obviously, because the Pacers I slept on, but the
yeah,
Bucks, I think if Giannis is still, I think a top three player in the league, if not top two, but
yeah.
how
He's
much help does he have?
Yeah, I mean, he's a player who should be in the MVP conversation every year. I think he was 30 and 12 this year, shooting 60% from the
Quietly,
field. So, uh, yeah, like I said, I can't wait to the playoffs. Though I almost don't want to. Only reason I'm gonna watch the games tomorrow is because is going to decide some positions in the West, and I kind
yeah.
of want to see. Teams gonna got to play all their players tomorrow. The Lakers ain't gonna play their players tomorrow, but
Oh yeah, because they're already locked in on the third
yeah, they
seed or
locked.
whatever.
Yeah, they locked into the third seed. So when they won,
Okay.
when they beat Houston, they locked in. So, um,
Hmm.
so I want to watch some of these games tomorrow to see what's locked in, and I want to see what the tiebreakers are supposed to be, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because we
watch
got
them
what
play
we
it.
have we have Pacers Cat. Yeah, Pacers Cavs. I think Cavs really don't care. but the Pacers they're locked in too, right? Four seed, I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
checking their record. Yeah, they locked in. So
Yeah,
I'm
Pistons
looking at
Bucks could
records
be
right
huge.
now. One,
Yeah,
two. You
Nuggets
know
Rockets I
something?
think is
I
doesn't mean
think
anything.
I think New York and the Pacers could switch because New York is three. The
Yeah,
Pacers, four. I don't know the tiebreaker with that situation. Indiana got 49 wins. New York got 50 wins. So
yeah.
there's a one game. So I don't know if it's a tiebreaker with that. So, but besides that, everybody else is locked in to their playoff seed. And besides the play-in game, so um,
Oh yeah. So that means the Warriors and Timberwolves both need to win. Right?
yeah.
Otherwise, or maybe who knows? They could be like, hey, we don't want to play this team or the Lakers. I
Minnesota,
mean,
because Minnesota and Golden State got the same record. So, like I
yeah,
said, I don't know who got the tiebreaker there. So,
we'll see.
Min- I was just watching the. I was watching the Minnesota Lakers playing game from was that a couple of years ago, and that was a hell of a game.
It was.
Minnesota gave the Lakers everything they had, even though the Lakers ended up winning. Minnesota, it was a heck of a game. Some of this stuff I don't like to play in stuff because, like for example, when in the East, um, no, not in the East, but the West, uh, Memphis got 47 wins, and then Sacramento got 39. It's like, I mean, is that fair to have a play-in game? I like the East when Atlanta got 39 wins, the Bulls got 38 wins. So I could understand the play-in right there because it's like, shoot, it's so close. I want to see who really should be a playoff team. But
It's gonna
like,
be. I mean, yeah, this is like one year where the play-in's actually gonna be like fire because
yeah,
those teams are they can make runs, you know.
yeah. So
So there's a nice question in here for us here. What were some great '80s defenses besides the Pistons? I mean, well, you have the Celtics. '86 Celtics were what like top? Were they like the best defense in
yeah,
the
they
league?
yes, they was the best defensive team in the league. Who else? Besides Detroit, I mean, what a lot of people don't understand, the Bulls was one of the best defensive
Yeah,
teams in
'88 Bulls.
the Detroit Bulls. Early
Mhm.
Milwaukee had a great defensive team.
They really did. Yeah, I
Uh,
think. Trying to think of some better like Sixers had a couple of good defensive
yeah,
runs.
yeah.
I'm
The
pretty
Sixers
sure.
had a couple of good defensive teams in the middle of all everything. Atlanta didn't have a bad defensive team during that time
Yeah.
either. Um, let me see.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like standout because obviously you have like the defensive ratings and you can top to bottom, but like the standout ones were, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, because I'm looking up the '86 Celtics here because they were top three like
Yeah, they
offensively and
probably
defensively.
yeah.
Yeah, they were the best. They had an impressive. Yeah, they went 40-1 at home.
Oof. I remember, I always remember that stat because when the Bulls won 72 games,
Hmm.
they was actually trying to either tie or break that record, and I think the Bulls ended up going 39-2.
Yeah,
Um, so at
yeah.
home,
So
so
Celtics were the better team, but like the Bucks were right behind them by point 0.1 defensive rating. That year, 1986. Lakers were top seven. The Knicks were rounding into form, but yeah, no one was close to them. Celtics and Bucks were like the best defensive teams easily.
if you get a chance to look it up later, uh, I think the best rating ever was the 74-75 Washington Bullets at 91.3 as the best defensive rating ever in NBA history. I could be off on that. I
I
looked it
thought it
up.
was the 64 second. Let me check here.
I looked it up on StatMute. They got the bullets down, but this could be off. Uh,
Let's see. That's the Bullets, huh? Let's take a look
yeah,
here. Let's see
so,
here. That's fantastic. Let's see here.
yeah. I hope
By a
y'all.
team, huh?
I hope everybody getting ready for the playoffs. And y'all ready to
Oh
watch
yeah,
these games and because
When
I'm
does it
ready to
officially
watch.
start?
I think it's next week. That's what when you was talking about the Lakers. I was going to say, I think the Lakers get a full week off before they got to play a game, and they get to heal a little bit because it seemed like LeBron had a little a groin injury yesterday, but yeah,
Thank God. Let's get him out of there.
I saw him moving after the game a little bit. It seemed like it didn't bother him that much, but I think teams are sitting down. I was surprised Houston didn't play their players in the game versus the Lakers.
Are they locked in or no? They are locked in the
They,
two
they
seed,
they
right?
locked in. Houston locked in too. They've been
Yeah.
locked in for a while, so Houston been locked in. So
And
it
you're
kind
right,
of
by the
didn't
way. It
surprise
was
me.
the 71-72 Bullets. 91. That's crazy.
So it was the okay, yeah, because I had the
Or I'm
77
sorry, 74-75. Let me look at that. 74-75 watching Bullets.
91.3. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. Well,
I mean,
nobody's going.
and I mean, I know there's a lot of context to that, but I
Yeah,
mean, that's nuts. I mean, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff like, but yeah, I think that I don't think that's a serious injury on LeBron. He'll probably walk it off, and yeah,
yeah,
like you
he
said,
probably walked off. Yeah,
they'll have plenty of time to rest. I mean, and I mean, you probably, yeah, I mean, all these things in the chat, like we mentioned all these, like, yeah, there's all these standouts there. I mean, even this year, the Thunder have been really good
yeah,
defensively.
yeah. This year Thunder been really good. The reason I was going to bring them up, but the reason I didn't bring up the OKC Thunder defense because I kind of want to see them. They don't have to win a championship for me to rate them
No,
high
yeah,
defensively. I just want to see what they do defensively in the playoffs
hmm
and how they defense. Because like I tell people all the time that defense Minnesota had last year in the playoffs that when they played game one versus Denver. Uh, and the big man didn't play because I think he was having a baby.
yeah,
And that was one of the best defensive games I have seen in years. That game one versus Denver, Minnesota. I hope people
hmm
do get a chance to go back and watch that game. I believe it was the best defensive game they had that playoff series. And I want y'all to know the defensive player of the year didn't even play that game. So they took the defensive player of the year out of the game and I think it was their best defensive game they had all season and especially the whole playoffs.
yeah. He was a fake DPOY.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
No, you're right. I was watching that game and like everything you want, like quick closeouts, not overplaying
Oh,
your man, like just blowing up the pick and roll,
hey,
like
McDaniels was out there giving
Ingles.
Murray fits.
Yep.
Murray hasn't been the same since that series.
Murray's like one of the most overrated players in the league,
He
like
is.
especially with his contract. It's
He had,
insane.
he had some good games versus the Lakers, and people blew him up. But he's to me he's consistently inconsistent, and he's not called out for it enough. But
Yeah,
he's consistently inconsistent because he can have some big games, and I think his name has rang out because he played the Lakers.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of that, before we go any further, guys, here is the I think easiest. Just because I was like, hey, give it to me. Here is the easiest trivia question for you guys going forward. Obviously, you guys have until the end of the show to get this. It's who is the since 1980? Okay, who is the only MVP to have never played with either an All Star, an All Defensive selection, or an All NBA selection? There's
ooh,
only one. So anyone who gets that, obviously, you can choose what we do next week.
you
But
said since
remember,
1980.
yeah, since 1980. Well, there's only been one MVP who's never played with a single player who's or teammate who's made one of those three teams. I was kind of shocked to realize that, you know,
No,
but
I have no idea. I have none idea because I'm thinking of MVPs right now, and they're just like,
I had a guess when I first heard it, and I turned out to be right, but it was just kind of a shot in the dark because it was like recently on my mind. And so let me rephrase this, uh, Peter Badges. Uh, a teammate who's never had played with a player who's won that ever in their career. Not while they were on the same team, but also, yeah, Dream I think had a one player who made the all defensive, but this is like he's never played with a single player who's made not while they were together, just at all. Period.
Wow, that makes it harder.
Yeah, that makes it way harder, right?
Yeah, 'cause I was thinking when you made the question, I was thinking James Harden, but he played with Dwight Howard, who
Yeah, Hakeem played with Drexler, obviously,
yeah. So
and Pippen and Barkley, but I mean,
yeah,
obviously that doesn't. Yeah, but
yeah.
that's yeah.
Because when you first said the question, I was thinking of James Harden, who he played with, but I was like,
hmm
shoot, Dwight Howard alone and Chris Paul alone takes him out that conversation. So
Yeah, I think that makes it way harder because it's like opens up their entire career, right? So
yeah,
it's
so
I mean, whoever can get that, I guess, was paying attention, but um, yeah. So it's like some of the comments here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, guys. I mean, I think it's hard to say who was the best defense ever. I mean, there's like King John and I were talking about. It's like we had a bunch of. It's really just what's your flavor, Like
it is
I
because
could I could say my favorite defense ever was probably to watch. Obviously, was probably that '04 Pistons team, just because it was so gross. Like
you know what team we did bring up, that 15-16 Spurs led by Kawhi.
yeah. Oh no, we
Uh,
didn't. Yeah, that was a great team too.
that was a great defensive team too. And like I said, the Spurs are all over this. That's why I said I think of the 2000s. I think the Spurs should be stamped as the great, because just being consistent
Yeah,
defensively as the greatest defensive team of the modern era. That's why
100%.
I brought it up. Yeah.
Kenny Hardaway, he got the answer. Son of a bitch.
Who he say? I'm looking for.
Jokic.
Dude, you know something? I would have never guessed Jokic. I promise you, I wouldn't have said Jokic, even though it's there for the taking. It's there.
Yep, it's there for 10.
Once
But you think about some of the, and this is, I think, some of the casual takes. Is like you think about some of the names on there. Like you think about Jamal Murray. That guy, that bum, has never made any team. He finished
Yeah,
like top. He finished like number 10 in guard All Star voting like one time. But he's never made it. Neither has anyone else on that team. But Jokic he's making these guys look better than they are. Like he has an inconsistent team from start to finish. There was obviously one year where Murray was okay in the playoffs. They win the chip. Cool. But yeah, he's never had it. He's the only one who's never had that luxury.
Henny Hardaway.
So
I was thinking Derrick Rose too. I started to look up all the Derrick Rose teammates, and I Joakim Noah won Defensive Player of the Year.
yeah.
So I was thinking Derrick Rose too, Henny Hardaway. I swear it came to my mind after I thought of James Harden. And I said, what about D Rose? And I'm like, nah, he played with Joe Kim. Joe Kim, Defensive Player of the Year. So it takes him out of that conversation. So
Well, in King's speech, it would, but this year is not over yet. So fuck you. uh no, but yeah, I mean, if so, obviously he will be disqualified from that list after this year is over. But up until this year, he was the
why would he be
only,
disqualified?
yeah, which is crazy to think about.
Why would Joker
10
be
years.
disqualified after this year? Who's making one of those lists?
Westbrook.
He gonna make the all defensive team?
Well, no, Westbrook was an MVP though,
Yeah, he was an MVP. Okay,
and I
okay.
think he made all NBA that year too, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, because of this year, after this year over, yeah. So yeah, that
And
is
he's been
crazy
he's
to
been an
think
All Star
that.
too. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
so yeah, that would take him out of that after this season. But before this, he's never played with one, which is amazing when you really think about it. I mean, he's the best player in the league, and he's even won a championship with that. And
yeah.
it tell you how hard it is to win one championship, and how hard it is even harder to win multiple championships. And I heard
hmm
somebody say, "Well, he only won one." Yeah, I mean, you know how many
Only
players who hadn't won
yeah. I
one
mean, it's
championship? Is great.
yeah, and it's so much like as you get to know basketball more, like I think you get to see the huge spectrum of like there's so much that goes into winning not just one like you said, but like more Do you
Yeah,
think he is takeable upon? I mean, certain points in his career, maybe he has been, but he's been so inconsistent. Like, look at when this year, Jamal Murray started off like his first 3 months, he was shooting like sub 40% from the field. He was
yes, he
injured.
was.
Like, he's been injured. Like, he might not even make the playoffs or be in the playoffs. Like, Aaron Gordon was injured. So Jokic has been like the hardest carry job of all time, like the last few years. But like, there's so much that goes into winning a title. Like, you have to have, especially like if you have to have a cohesive defensive team consistently, like yeah, it's just especially these days, there's not going to be good because of the period. I don't think there's going to be a team that wins like 5 titles in 7 years again. It's just too difficult to say.
Salute, Rule Hood Sports.
Roddy
Thanks for
Hood, yeah,
yeah. Thanks. Salute JGK, the panel in the chat.
yep.
So yeah, hey,
He's not. I mean,
that was a crazy stat. That was a great question. We can't wait for your question next week so we discuss it. Um, I guess you know how to get in contact with T Perfect or anybody at JGK, so you can get your question. Also, we can talk about your question next week.
yeah, Henny. So, like John says, if you go to our Discord, right, get in our Discord and go James Keenum, and so you have two options now. You can like King John says, you can ask us a question that you want us to just kick around and a topic you want us to talk about, or you can ask to do a four-way debate with us on a topic, but you got to make sure it has at least four viable answers, right? So we can each pick one. All
Yeah,
right. So, and then we can we'll debate it. So whatever you want to do, one of those two, just let us know on the Discord, preferably by like at latest like Thursday, bro. Okay.
yeah. Get in by
So
Thursday so we can do our homework on your questions. A lot of I like to do
mhm.
homework on some of the questions, like the defensive team. I did my homework. I want to see my sheets right here. I got my
Yeah.
homework. I printed it out. So I like to do my homework, and so when Travis said the 63 Celtics, they right here. 63, 64 Celtics right there. So I already had those answers
he
right
was
here. I like doing
he's
my homework and studying questions and kind of have a good answer for some of the questions we get. So I do my homework. I like to do my homework in advance so I can kind of know what I'm going to talk about and have a good argument about what I'm talking about. So yeah, have it in by Thursday so I can do my homework and have a good answer for whatever your question is.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, so here's a question for you there. Like this guy just brought it up in the chat. And as you know, I've recently admitted that I think LeBron's the GOAT, obviously. Just because on reflection, on his career, no other player has averaged what, like at least 22 points a game past year 16 at whatever he's on year 23 right now, much less
22.
the line he's doing. And at some point, just the magnitude of that, like what Jordan played 11 prime years, arguably, and obviously I think Jordan had maybe a tiny better peak, but LeBron, his career is like, yes, Henny, I have been converted by myself though. And hear me out though. Hear me out. It's like because when you look at it, yes, like what are the qualifications for GOAT? Yeah, obviously it's subjective, right, to your own mind, but he has the MVPs, he has the multiple Finals MVPs, he has the all defensive selections, albeit not as many, but he has six. He has the most All NBA selections, so he checks all these boxes, and then from just for not even totals, man, like it's just him performing at a high level every single year he's on the court to basically where it's going to be more than 5, 6, 7 years more than the other closest player who's done it. Like who else was doing this? Like who else had the most production? Like what was Kareem doing? Like he fell off drastically at what, like year 14,
Yeah.
where he went from like 27, 28 points a game, 13 rebounds to he went down to like 22. Obviously that was partly team composition, but you can tell he was no longer that guy from the '70s. Like LeBron, obviously you can talk about defense or whatever, but his IQ is higher than it's ever been. He's a better shooter now than he's ever been. His rebounds and assists aren't going anywhere. So it's like it's to me, I can't really make an argument to the contrary. If we're gonna argue just accolades, but to me, there's so much more than it. He's just so consistent, and it has nothing to do with totals or anything like that. It's just who has been best the longest, and to me, it's LeBron. And yeah, there's some other players like you can say Karl Malone, like for a while, but he has nowhere near the total resume LeBron does. Neither does someone like Stock. But so you have to check every single box. To me, LeBron does, but it's also like he hasn't ever missed any time too, as far as entire seasons, things like that. And so it's to me, it's just you got to give it to him at this point. It's and to be in the conversation as a top three team, a title contender in year 23, and arguably the best team, best player on the team. But it's it's really tough. It's really tough for me to say anyone else at this point without just saying, okay, I have to discount all this. But I don't know. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I think LeBron is one of the. I think LeBron is the GOAT, and I think longevity is a part of the conversation. He averages 27 points a game for his career. Um, I think he's top five in averages for points,
Yeah.
but I think it's decimal points between him and a couple of guys ahead of him.
I think Luca's ahead of him, but that doesn't really count, right?
Now I don't think it counts yet. I don't
Yeah.
think it officially counts yet, but I think what he done overall as a player, offensively, defensively, his of course his IQ as a player. He's going to average 24.4 points per game this year. He played
Yeah.
70 games this year. Um, he's played 22 straight seasons, and he's never been. But if you go outside his rookie year and how you have somebody want to look at it, he's never been under a top 15 player in the league.
Hmm.
I want to say top 10, but I would have to start really doing my research on it.
Yeah.
But besides his rookie, he's never been under the top 15 player in the league in
Hmm.
2 years.
Yeah. And even in his MVP year, what he was like a number 10 in 10 or 11 in like MVP voting. Well, which doesn't really mean a whole but he was still impactful. But you're right. That's crazy. And Henny, I think that's a good point too. Like, and the only reason he didn't average 25 this year was because of he was deferring to AD now Luca, but his scoring has gone up.
It was the
Since
injury that's the only reason he didn't average 25.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he had went up to 25 right before the injury, and then
Hmm.
after the injury, that's when he came back under 25 points because he was going to average 25. It was actually
Yeah.
the injury that hurt him.
Hmm. And also, like, this is no. I love Peter Badges, but I do highly rate KD, but I don't hold. I wouldn't say his numbers are unimpactful because he just, besides like the Thunder and Warriors, like when has he ever been on a complete team? Like, dude, like the Phoenix is like one of the worst defensive teams I've ever seen, and that's just like the last 3 years they couldn't guard anyone. Like
Oh my!
teams want to play them; they don't care what you're going to score. Like they will outscore you because they can. You're not going to stop anyone. If you give Kevin Durant, if you put him on the Wolves, they win the title. If you put him on the Nuggets, it might be the same story, but I just give him a solid. He's going to get traded next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to a legit contender, and then we'll have the conversation again. But Kevin Durant, I think, is the most effective scorer of all time from a three level perspective and consistency wise. Obviously, LeBron's the greatest, but Kevin Durant, I think, is the most effective scorer of all time. Then it's a close race for Steph Curry. Yeah, he is. He's pretty. I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying Durant is a shutdown defender by any means, but dude, when you look at some of the teams he's been on, like, come on now. I won't
No,
care who you put on that team.
KD plays good weak side defense, and it really showed itself when he was over there in Golden State.
Hmm.
And when KD went to Phoenix, if he goes to Phoenix as a free agent, I think Phoenix wins the championship because I think Phoenix had a really good team, and if you add KD to that team, they can win a championship. But getting him traded there took away a lot of the players that would have helped.
Yeah,
Especially what's his name? He with New York now. I love him as a player too. I cannot think his name. He had just got traded to New York this year. Um, uh,
was it Cat? No,
Damn, I can't think.
it's
No, no, he was with Brooklyn. He went to Brooklyn in the KD trade, and he had
oh
just got traded to the Knicks. He had just got traded to the Knicks this past offseason. I can't think his name. I love him as a player too. Him and Chris Paul used to do the gun stuff all the time. I cannot think of his name. And if you said his name, but what's up, B Lee?
Mikal Bridges,
What was
Yes,
good, guys? What's good?
it was good.
B Lee. Got to get your takes in here, man. What do you think are the best defensive teams of all time? We had John and I are like we have like the same thoughts. You know, the usual
Yeah,
suspects like '08 Celtics, '04 Pistons. We like a lot of the Spurs team, every Spurs team, '64
Uh,
Celtics.
the best
yeah.
defensive team. I don't know. I was thinking about it. Like, what is the best defensive team that I've seen besides the Spurs team? I really think the Spurs team has always, to me, had the best defensive teams.
I
Um,
mean, that I've ever seen and like consistently was probably '04 Pistons, but I mean, '08 Celtics were gross. '04 Spurs were disgusting too.
I wouldn't say the '04 Pistons.
No,
Why not?
No, I don't think that was that great of a defensive team to me.
what? Everything disagrees with you here, Be like.
I mean,
When they,
yeah, I could
when they
think it.
got
I just don't. I don't know. Look, why are they such a great defensive team?
Well, how do you measure it? Like they excelled in every defensive metric. They were historically good. They won the championship on their defense.
I
Almost.
mean, they won the championship because of Kobe Bryant. That's not because they're. I mean, that's why
because
they
of the
won it.
because of
Well,
the
yeah.
job
I mean,
they did on Kobe Bryant though.
they
I mean,
shut
because
him down. They shut up
Kobe went.
prime Kobe down.
No, they didn't. Kobe wouldn't pass the ball. Shaq would have averaged 35 plus if they would have gave Shaq the ball.
No,
Yeah, Shaq shot
no. Come on,
65%.
Beasley.
Shaq shot 65%. Nobody was stopping Shaq but Kobe Bryant.
You say so, man. I mean, obviously, just because they had maybe one favorable matchup, that team all year was gross. No one was even close. I mean, obviously, the '04 Spurs are amazing too, but that
Um,
team, look at their length. They guarded every position. Like they had the four-time DPOY, arguably the top three defender of all time, Ben Wallace, Prime,
I mean,
Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton.
Shaq would destroy Ben Wallace, so that don't even matter. It's
Wouldn't
like
destroy him.
Matumbo, Shaq destroyed Matumbo all the time. Shaq shot 65% on Ben Wallace. He was not stopping Shaq.
I think well, nobody stopping Shaq, but
Yeah,
I
who's
mean,
going to stop?
He
I mean,
was
that's
not
not a
stopping
flex.
Shaq. I'm just
That's
saying
not a flex.
that's not the reason you talking about they because they defense. No, they won because
Yeah.
Kobe went past Shaq the ball because he didn't want Shaq to have another MVP. That's all it
Okay.
was. That's all it was. Kobe wanted that Finals MVP, and
Okay.
he
Well, so who
sabotaged
was the
him.
best defensive team in your estimation though, or top three, I should say?
Um, I'm gonna say the Spurs teams. I mean, they had a
Winning
lot
year.
of defensive players. 99,
I
oh
told you
03,
He
99.
said
oh
'99. Yeah.
05, like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, when they had Bruce. I mean, their whole defense, that Kawhi Leonard, 2-time defensive player of the year, like that's what they preached was deep defense, and they had Tim Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
because I
kind of
know.
hard for me to say another team is better defensively than the Spurs teams.
Well, that's what I said, Brandon. I think that if you start with that '99 team, I think with the era, I think the Spurs had the best defensive team of the era because they had so many good defensive teams in that era. Because you got to go to '04 team. Don't forget about the 15-16 team with Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
The '04 team, they had so many defensive teams that Spurs team did. I'm just saying the era is if you can want to pick out other defensive, cool in other eras, but I'm just thinking of the 2000 era. I think the Spurs consistently has been the greatest defensive teams of the era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So yeah,
mean,
There's a
I
bunch
mean,
of good ones.
the Bulls teams, of course.
My list was 95, 91.
John said, yeah. He said
Yeah.
90. 91 is underrated, obviously.
I would put the later Bulls teams better than those teams. I mean,
I
you
think
had Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
96, I
hard.
mean, is probably one of the better top three defenses of all time. I mean, especially
Yeah, I
Scottie
mean,
Pippen.
I don't know what 91 to 93 team compares to that team defensively, other than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen being better defensively.
I mean, they still had some. Obviously, they didn't have like a prime defensive Rodman or Harper, but they had Horace Grant. Was I think underrated defensively. They still had. They
I had
didn't.
Scotty.
Yeah.
I think some of the guys they had coming off the bench. They had Scott Williams, Stacey King.
Mhm.
I mean, those guys are not. Come on,
I mean,
come on.
They had cerebral defenders, dude. Like it wasn't like they just had. They had like all stars at every position defensively, but they had like Craig Hodges. They had Will Purdue. I mean, guys who were serviceable.
they know
I
how to
mean,
Dennis
play
Hopkins.
team defense
I
because
mean,
the Bulls didn't have any
they were
shot.
good. I'm just saying, the later with Ron Harper, Jordan Pippen, and
Yeah,
Randy
Rodman, they were
Brown,
better.
Randy
Yeah,
that
Randy
may have been
Brown.
the highest IQ defensive team of all time.
Randy Brown was a really good defender. Most people don't even know that, but he was
Yeah,
really good.
because he handled their one weakness. They Randy Brown. They one weakness was
Yeah, they're like quick guards.
quick
Remember,
guard.
Travis? What's his name? Travis Best, the dude from the
Travis
on
Pacers.
Best played for
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah,
He used to destroy the Pacers. I mean the Bulls, but they had Randy Brown to like limit that. He was a
Yeah,
little quick guard that was hard to stop.
those '90s like '98 Pacers were gross. Well, slept on that team.
they almost beat my Bulls. They went 7.
They won
They
7
almost
games.
take the Lakers out. I mean, kind of. I mean, 2000 or 2000 Pacers rather.
I mean,
But
is there a team that's better than the Spurs team that you guys would say, other than Travis said the 04 Pistons? But is there
I
another
mean,
team?
the best. I mean, by the numbers, the best defensive Spurs team ever was in '04. I think, just as far as defensive rating. But I think,
Yeah,
uh, I mean, all across the decade, they were super consistent, right? Like Duncan was never not there.
yeah,
I mean, obviously their roster changed slightly, but if you look at some of the those early 2000 Spurs were like some of my favorite teams of all time. Like, look at their 0-1 roster. I mean, if the Lakers are peaking right there, they easily win the championship. They just ran into like an ascendant Kobe Shaq moment there where they
I
decided
mean,
to sweep them.
I mean, the Pacers was never that good of a team.
Who?
The Pacers was never that good of a team.
Well, I'm talking
The
about
reason,
0-1, where Lakers.
I mean, the reason they made the finals
Like you
because
had you had Derek Anderson,
they
you had
wasn't.
Antonio Daniels, who's underrated, Sean Elliott, Malik Rose, super underrated defender,
I mean,
very underrated defender. He used
they were
to
never a good team. They was
Malik
just
Rose would square up with Shaq, dude. He had
that
Terry
was that
Porter.
was that was just a time that they could make the finals, but they were never a good team.
Pacers?
Yeah, Pacers never a
Oh well,
good
yeah.
team.
No, I'm talking about
They were a
0-1
deep.
Spurs, dude. One of my favorite teams ever because you had Tim Duncan and David Robinson still. I mean, pseudo prime defensively. Sean Elliott, Malik Rose. You had all these Terry Porter, all these cerebral defenders, a little older, but Steve Kerr was there for.
oh, you're talking about the Spurs? Yeah, Steve.
That was a team, dude. Like Samaki Walker, underrated.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Samaki
I
Walker.
mean that, yeah. Two
They was,
top five DPOYs.
yeah. Greg Pop. He coached defense, and that's what he was about. So he had some great defensive teams, and
I'm picking teams that beat all great teams. Who did that? What do you mean by that? Takeable pun?
King,
Like, what?
King's Speech. I'm from Chicago. I keep telling y'all the teams I can't root for is Detroit, Indiana, and New York. Okay, those are the teams. Okay, so we can't root for those teams. Those are out the picture.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that.
Johnny, I knew that was Mikal Bridges. Somebody brought it up. Yeah,
Oh yeah, a super underrated trade right there.
Yeah, but when Mikal Bridges, I believe he was a good piece for the Phoenix Suns and
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they traded away their depth
everybody.
for it. Don't make any sense. Like Kevin Durant, he should. I mean, he shouldn't put two and two together. You got to be on a good team. You can't be on a team full of
Did you
stars.
see
Tried this
that?
way too many times.
Did you guys see that, or do you remember that roster though, John? Look at the roster for the 2000 Pacers. They had Travis Best, Austin Grozier, Dale Davis underrated, Al Harrington, Mark Jackson underrated, Reggie Miller could still shoot, Chris Mullin, Sam Perkins, Jalen Rose.
They,
You
they,
talk about
they had
the you talk about '98.
No, 2000 Pacers, the one that made the finals. They were a veteran-laden team, coached by underrated Larry Bird. That was one of the more fun teams I've seen. Like that was crazy. Mark Jackson underrated.
That team wasn't fun. That team was boring.
Haterade right
I'm just
there.
saying they. What did they do when it was fun?
They had great ball movement. Mark Jackson was one of the better passers ever.
Mark
Like
Jackson held the ball for 22 seconds.
that's not the case.
it's not
What do
What were you even watching basketball back then? Fred?
Yes,
No.
Mark Jackson will post you up for 22 seconds and then pass the ball. That's what Mark
Mark
Jackson. I don't
Jackson
know
top
what
five
you
in
was
the trip.
watching. I don't know what you was watching, but that was Mark Jackson. He bring the ball up slow, start
Mm-hmm.
posting you up from the half court line, get all the way into the free
He
throw
would just
line.
Magic Johnson it,
I mean,
basically.
they were boring as hell.
Beely. No, nobody believes that.
I don't know why not. If you put on a Pacers game right now and watch a full game, you'd be like, yeah, this was boring as hell. You got Dale Davis and Antonio Davis could barely make layups. All they
What?
did was foul. You got Rick Smits, who was probably the best player on the team, but he was all right.
You
He
had
wasn't.
you had a great inside out game with them. You could, I mean, obviously they were like you had Rick Smith who could
They had no inside out
score,
game.
but I mean they were great defensively in the interior. Obviously, Shaq was getting his at a high degree, but that was 2000 Shaq, arguably probably the
I
top
mean, I ain't
five
talking about Shaq.
best
I'm
seasons
just
of all
talking
time.
about how the Pacers played.
Yeah, I think they were great. They came out of the East. You got to give them their props.
I mean, yeah, they came out the East, but the Pacers was not that. I mean, they not a great team. They never was a great team.
Hey,
I
I
think
mean,
risk you can put him on the post at times and not consistently, but he can score in the post at times and he can hit the 17-foot jumper. And Reggie Miller was gonna come off a lot of screens and hit the jump shot. And
hmm
um, it depends on which team we talk about because Jalen Rose can still handle the ball. He can get his own shot off the dribble. And Mark Jackson. The later Mark Jackson we saw, I understand what B. Lee said because that's who the player he was. And,
That's what he did.
uh, I mean, that's why. Remember me and you was having this conversation early on when I came to Go James Kingdom. I felt like one of the best defensive game plans it was when they put Scottie Pippen on Mark
Yeah, that's the
Jackson.
only way
And
that they won because Scottie Pippen was going to back down everybody, even Jordan. That's what he's going to do: put his ass on them and back them down for 22 seconds. But
yeah,
Scottie Pippen wasn't
22
allowing
seconds.
that.
yeah,
Scottie Pippen was not allowing that.
You see,
yeah.
Johnny says,
Scottie Pippen was not allowed.
Johnny says, anyone mention the 2001 Sixers? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They were a good defensive team. I mean, that team, I think, was the only team ever that had a combination of
All defensive players.
The MVP, right? They had
They
the
have nothing
MVP.
but defensive players.
Yeah, exactly. They had the MVP, they had the DPOY, they had the Sixth Man of the Year, and the
That's the
Coach of the Year.
problem.
Yeah, look at that team: Theo Ratliff, Dikembe, George Lynn. All these guys were defenders, but yeah, they couldn't really score.
Was Eric Snow on that team?
Yeah, Eric Snow was there.
They had a
They
bunch of defenders,
Tony Kukoc.
and
Wow. Matt Geiger
they had
could shoot.
they had a bunch of defenders.
They really did, man. They played. They went through some wars too in that year. Yeah, it was
I was
crazy.
surprised they beat Toronto. I was surprised they beat
Yeah,
Toronto that year.
I was surprised they beat
I
Milwaukee.
thought yeah,
But yeah,
I
Toronto,
thought
I think
Toronto.
was Toronto was supposed to because they had what they had T Mac and
and
Vince.
Vince. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought they was going, but of course, Allen Iverson showed y'all what was the difference between each player. Um, I believe the
Oh,
playoffs
100%.
exposes that. Um,
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You missed it there, Beely. Let's see if you can get this, Beely. So, because they already don't tell them, chat. Don't tell them. There's somebody already got this trivia question, but the question was, who is the only? So, okay, since 1980, who is the only MVP to have never played with a single player or teammate who has been selected to one of the three teams, all defense, all NBA, or all star. Not while they were together, but just period at all ever. Like for example, you can't say
Well, I
Hakeem.
know, I know, Jokic has never played with
Fuck
one of
you.
those players, and
that was the
um,
damn answer.
Damn, B Lee
but
out of
but
the.
you said a teammate, like he's playing with Russ this
No,
year.
you got it right. You got it right.
Yeah, it's going
And
to end this
we're
season, but
we're saying that ends to
before
this
this
season
season.
because of Westbrook.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought everyone knew that. Like he's played 10 years without one of those players.
Well, no, I mean it's not common knowledge exactly because of the wording. I think of the question,
Oh, okay.
right? Because it's not because Hakeem. People were saying Hakeem, but he played with obviously
He
people
played
who
with
had
Clyde
to.
Drexler and
Yeah,
Barkley.
and Barkley and Pippen. But I mean
They
that's
play body too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they weren't at prime, obviously. But yeah, that was so
Well,
Henny
well,
Hardaway got that, and
yeah,
so he's gonna dictate.
yeah, yeah. When Hakeem won his second title, Clyde was all NBA though. So
Yeah,
like that like stopped the streak of like a teammate who made that. I guess even though Clyde only played less than half the year, but still
and then
he was
Hakeem won the
all
year before without that shit.
yeah,
Right?
he won it without it.
They were
Like he's
just
the first player to do that.
probably the GOAT playoff run, arguably, if we're talking about that.
I mean,
Right.
he did everything: Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP. I mean, that year
I
was
love Hakeem, dude. Give me
crazy.
Hakeem.
It was
But
crazy.
obviously, Brandon, you know that I've admitted LeBron is the GOAT at this point.
Oh
Um,
man, I mean, that's pretty easy to say.
shut up.
I
Pretty
mean,
easy to say.
what LeBron did this year was amazing as well. I mean, he ended the streak of 25 points per game for 20 straight seasons.
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
he's
But
still at 24. So yeah,
It just
so
to
some
me,
of
it's
these
just
streaks.
like
King Speech said LeBron's not even top five, but his criteria makes LeBron the GOAT. I don't understand
not
that.
even top point five King speech. What is that? King speech. Listen,
Like his
not
criteria made him the GOAT.
yeah. King speech. Listen, like there's no criteria unless it's just like your favorite player that doesn't have LeBron in top five. I'm not talking about the GOAT. I'm just talking about top five, dude. Like if he's not at least top five, then you're whatever you say is invalid. I don't want to hear about anything else. Like it's you can't name a criteria without discounting things. Like you're not going to use resume, you're not going to use stats. You're just going to say what like favorite player, stuff like that. Like you're going to think names that don't care. And like yeah, you can't make it consistent too. You're not going to make it consistent. Like you have Magic over him, right? Ridiculous. And I'm not saying no people are slouches in your top five, but you just can't argue using a logical criteria.
Yeah, he says something about being the best player in the league, the longest. I
Yeah,
mean,
that what?
everybody know that's LeBron and
That's
Jordan anyway.
completely subjective.
But then he
Completely.
said
Well, nobody in your
Russell.
top 10
Then
was
he said
slouches.
Russell. Like, come on now.
Nobody in my
LeBron,
top five missed four playoffs. Again, that's a team achievement. You say the longest player being the best in the league by what measurement? LeBron's gonna have better stats than anyone you name for a longer period of time. He has more MVPs probably than half the people you're gonna name. Like, what's the best thing you're gonna name? Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's the best player in the league. What 2 years maybe 85, 87.
I will give him four
Four,
max, but
very
most
max.
likely three.
He wasn't better 2 of his MVP years than Michael Jordan was by any measurement. Ridiculous.
I mean,
Was
Bird
was Kobe in
was
this top five?
Yes, Kobe is above LeBron, and
So
he
King's Speech,
says,
team achievements matter, but making the finals 10 times doesn't matter to you when Kobe didn't
Has,
make it that many times.
hasn't Kobe missed the playoffs more than 4 times?
I don't know, he don't make any sense. Like the things he say, he don't know that he's saying these things. He doesn't know the NBA history.
Because
He
It
has no
just
clue about the
no,
NBA history.
because he gets to break down LeBron's career in real time and not know the rest of the players in his top 10 careers in real time, and did the homework to understand their careers because his criteria made LeBron a GOAT. I keep telling y'all, listen to y'all criteria sometime
yeah,
and look what you're really saying.
Now he's making excuses for Kobe, but
Kobe must have played. So wait, Pierre. So King's
so
Speech.
it don't matter.
Let's just take Kobe and Magic for example. LeBron has more MVPs than them, more Finals MVPs. He has better stats than them as far as averages go. He has better totals than them. Even if you don't care about totals, he has more All Defensive teams than Magic Johnson. He has more All NBAs than Kobe. His resume dwarfs Kobe as far as you're talking about best player in the league. Like he had better averages than Kobe Bryant did every single year, except for what maybe in '06. Like, what are you talking about? Like, any way you want to measure, he was more impactful analytically. If that's not your deal, then okay, fine. But he obliterates Kobe. If you're talking about team impact measurably, so any way you want to slice it, unless you're just talking about like things that don't matter, like oh he missed the playoffs. If you're not talking about that, then LeBron exceeds every player you want to talk about except for maybe a couple. But it's just there's no argument for that. Magic's career was 12 years. Okay, how is LeBron's about to double that?
Yeah.
Like, what is your
And
what's
Just keep trying to
King's
get
Speech.
points to LeBron.
the super team part? So
Who do you think?
Super team, Magic had the most help in NBA history. Magic played with a DPY. He played with an MVP. He played with somebody else who were two
With how
players
many
who were
Hall of
winning Finals
Famers?
MVP over him.
Yeah, James Worthy, Kareem, Cooper.
Yeah,
Play with
I
two
mean,
separate players who were number one picks in their prime. So it's not like they was later on they was number one picks and later
yeah,
on they played with him. He played with a Kareem who was a number one pick in his prime, and he played with a. Come on, now we're not gonna do this,
yeah.
man.
What? Magic got carried to a ring
And,
his first year, dude.
uh,
Like,
who
look at
who
that
do you
'80s
think
race.
is averaged the most, who do you think is averaged the most points versus Kobe in their career?
Versus Kobe, probably LeBron or T Mac
It's
it's
LeBron.
LeBron.
or AI.
It's LeBron.
Yeah, right.
I don't think y'all be understand what you're saying it, but you actually saying it, but you don't even be really understanding what you're saying. I do my homework, okay? Y'all don't be understanding. Hey, just take your feelings out of it. If Kobe's one of your favorite players and you don't like LeBron that much, I'd rather you say that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Brandon them called him clown when he had said the play-in tournament he would like it. He'd give it credit unless the Lakers win it, and he won't give them the credit. Come
yeah,
out, just say that. I mean, just say you don't like LeBron. I'm gonna put him in my top 10, but I'm gonna have him 8 or 9. I just don't like him. I mean, how that is your criteria? Hey, I would respect it more.
yeah. And I mean, like we can't talk about help, right? Because you look at it, like who else has played with uh with an MVP for 3 rings, right? Only Kobe, right? Like winning Finals MVP 3 times over him, only Kobe Bryant. I mean, you talk about even like a guy like Kareem. Kareem was the only player in NBA history to have played with on the same team the same year who had the DPOY, the MVP, and the Finals MVP, and it wasn't him in any of those. That's getting carried, dude. Like you're talking about LeBron. Obviously, yeah. No one's saying LeBron hasn't out helped, dude. But you vastly overrate the teams that he was on. You vastly underrate his accomplishments, and you do it for, like John said, just hate. You're afraid to just have a conversation about it. Like I don't care what your criteria is as long as it makes sense, dude. Like
Just let it be
you
consistent.
have to be
That's it.
consistent, dude. Like come on, there's no case for Magic over LeBron. There's no case for Kobe over LeBron at all, ever. No case for Bird.
Hey,
I mean, I would listen to a case for Duncan over LeBron, but it would be very dicey, very dicey.
and
Very
and,
nice.
and Duncan deserves a lot of more credit than a lot of people give him in their top 10. A
That's
lot
true.
of times you listen to the top 10, and a lot of people don't be. They start getting down the numbers and like they get to 7, and they can't think of who they want to say, and they be like, "Oh, I forgot about Tim Duncan."
Yeah.
No, I was remembering Tim Duncan and wondering when you was going to say his name and wondering why he was so low. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't like so. Danny Mac, how am I biased? I'm very unbiased in my criteria. If anything, I just told you LeBron was the goat, and I've had Jordan. Like it's always changing and shifting, like based on my criteria that different players accomplish and stuff. Like that's why I have to maybe you know, move someone out for Steph Curry here. Like
hey,
it's crazy.
I want to ask both of y'all a question, and this came up yesterday. Uh, do you think LeBron James was unprofessional for
Don't tell me
warming
about
up
that
without a shirt on?
ridiculous thing Isaiah Thomas said.
Now
Yeah,
he's just doing fan service.
3 hours before the game. So what nobody there. So do y'all think he was unprofessional?
I mean, it don't make any sense. I don't think Isaiah Thomas thought that he was doing that like 5 minutes before the game. I believe that's what he thought because that it doesn't make any sense to say that.
You don't.
Well, I mean, he's been doing that for
He's
years.
there
Who gives a shit
for
now?
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, he does that, but he doesn't do it when it's the like game clock is on.
Yeah, like
He
who
does
cares?
it
Like what is that?
hours before fans are let into the stadium.
That's
It's
the
his time.
dumbest.
Yeah,
It must be a slow news day, dude. They're like, oh, LeBron had a shirt off. Who cares? Oh my god, dude.
So was
yeah.
Dennis Rodman
Yeah,
unprofessional when he used to get out the games and take his shirt off in
I
front of
mean,
20,000 people?
yeah.
I
What?
mean,
I'm pretty sure Jordan warmed up without a shirt on.
Isaiah Thomas did a lot of things that was unprofessional.
Yeah,
So,
because we don't want to talk about that New York stint.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's kissing people before the game start. So,
So, Danny Mac, here's why you're wrong about that. Team success is subjective. Otherwise, if it's your main thing, then you've got to say, okay, why isn't Robert Orr the goat, or is Bill Russell your complete goat? It's about the impact you have on winning. Who else has made 10 finals besides Kareem? Like, if it's how big of a part is team success to your criteria? Even if it's like the only thing, LeBron's still going to be top five. Like, what is when you're the driving force on not only 4 rings but 10 appearances? You're always on a competitive team for the most part. Like, that's just a ridiculous standard. Like because you can't make it make sense. Your top five is going to be all over the place. Plus, you got to start target about their health. LeBron, obviously, who was drafted to super teams? Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe to an extent. After he got traded to the Lakers and they retooled, like where's the same energy for LeBron? Obviously, what, are you going to say that he should have won multiple titles his first 9 years in Cleveland? Like, come on,
I mean, people who say
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't win don't really know sports.
ridiculous.
That's all it is. They don't really know sports. LeBron's won
Agreed.
everywhere he went. Like he's in the finals. People who try to knock him making the finals, they just don't really. They never played sports before. That's all that is. That's all it
Jordan
is.
Jordan has the most Finals MVPs. Do y'all realize who
Hmm.
has the second most Finals MVPs?
Obviously,
That's
Bron. I
LeBron.
mean, shout out Bill Russell if it
I mean,
existed, but
do y'all? Sometimes, once again, I don't think y'all know what y'all be saying. Sometimes I don't think y'all. I don't think y'all pay attention to what y'all saying. And
hmm Danny
LeBron is
Mac,
still in
we've
your
got
face if
to
you're 22 and you don't watch these games.
Danny Mac. You've had some good takes in the past, but let's just join hands and move past the hate. Like single handedly lost 2 finals. That's not part of your criteria. I guarantee it. Are you going to talk about '04 Kobe? Talk about like '86 Magic Johnson? I mean, are you going to talk about like? Come on, are we talking about uh who else? Like, are we talking about someone who got you know someone who the team won despite him having a poor series in like '96 Mike, arguably. Like, come on, you're like who like Kareem? Are you gonna hold a Kareem? Are you gonna knock
You
Kareem's
gonna start
position in your
putting Will
ranking?
Chamberlain?
Yeah, are you gonna knock Kareem because he won like 3 rings when he was clearly on the downside of his career and he was getting carried? You're definitely not going to do that, right? So
No,
come on, man.
because that's not the narrative. I tell you,
Magic
they
and
they
Kobe
watching
won five though,
LeBron.
but Magic and Kobe won 5 rings, but they still have fewer Finals MVPs than LeBron. Okay, yeah, his final numbers
Oh
are
boy.
trash.
One boy, hilarious. So how many did Magic get without Kareem? That's too funny.
Jesus, dude.
I, I, I love watching what people say because it tells you they have a great imagination. Um,
I mean, he like King Speech was just bragging about Magic making 9 finals and then talking about we giving
Yeah, King
LeBron
Speech,
credit
he
for
had that
this.
one great game when Kareem was averaging like 34, 15, and like 4 blocks in that finals before he got hurt. Yeah, he did get carried.
the Finals MVP was Kareem that year. That was 80.
Yeah, he
Kareem was
got
the Finals
robbed of that.
MVP.
Yeah, I don't know why the NBA didn't correct that.
That was the
No,
most
Kareem
heinous rob of
won
all time,
Finals
maybe
MVP.
behind other than 2015,
Yeah, they
right?
say he won it. They said he got voted for Finals MVP. Why didn't they just correct it?
Yeah, he
Because
got yeah. So he had
Yeah,
won
stupid.
MVP. So he was voted MVP
he was voted
of that
MVP.
Finals.
Yeah, I don't know why the NBA hasn't corrected it. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's weird.
Hundred
And trust
percent.
me, Magic won't take it. Magic Johnson will not take it as a slight that Kareem won that Finals MVP. Trust me, Magic
No,
Johnson won't take it as a slight.
Magic wouldn't have cared at all. Magic was
I'm
the
talking about
ultimate
today.
definition of a team player.
Well, especially
I'm talking
back
about
in, they
today.
should have did it. I know now he probably wouldn't care, but they should have definitely did it then.
Hmm.
When Magic was a rookie, he was a 20. He probably wouldn't care. Like he was voted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
look at Magic's stat line in that series, there, King's Speech, compared to Kareem's, and tell me that wasn't a carry
He
job.
said he doesn't care about Finals MVP. So what
Okay.
do you care about then?
Doesn't care about it then. Okay,
What do
got
you
it.
care about? I know you said you have to be the best player for a period of time.
he don't
LeBron
care
only has
about that.
3 Finals MVPs, three. So
He
okay.
really don't care about that.
I get where you guys are coming from now, where it's just like nonstop hate from some of these guys. Like it's when you get to a point where I have finally, where you're just able to be like, okay, I don't care about the debate anymore. I'm just neutrally looking at these guys' resumes
Yeah.
and everything, and it's like you dismiss like the actual narratives, which all these are narratives, like the bubble ring, things like that, where they're talking about right now. Insane. So I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, LeBron's a go. I'm not gonna argue against her criteria, but at least make it make sense, not filled with stupid shit.
Hey, Danny Mac, you said the bubble ring ain't real, but the players
I
who were
mean,
there say is real.
it should count as 2 rings.
The players who was
That's
there,
how unreal it is. That bubble ring is unreal.
Dude, Danny Mac,
Like,
in a
the
lot of ways,
players
wasn't
who
that the most real, where there was no home court advantage?
and people don't understand. There's no home court advantage. And who was it? I forget who. It might have been Murray. He was like, no, it was Dame. Dame was like, it was all about basketball. He said it was probably some of the best games he's ever played in. He said because it was all about basketball. It wasn't about anything else. It was just let's go hoop versus the best.
Yeah,
And when you start putting narratives and all this stuff into games, it can change it. But when you just put some guys in a bubble and say go hoop and let the best team come out of it, and you say it's fake, come on, that
dude. Yeah,
y'all
come
ain't
on,
hoop
man.
for real though. Y'all
When
ain't
you
hoop
when
for
you
real,
start
man.
when you start saying things like, "Hey, 2 of his rings don't count," or like his that doesn't count, then that's literally hate. That's literally you saying,
it
"I
hurt their
don't."
feelings.
I'm discounting everything else, which legitimately counts in order to fit my narrative and push this other player. That's what you're saying, right?
Somehow that hurts their feelings. Somehow LeBron winning that hurts them. I don't know why.
And Danny Mac, that you're talking about anything you're saying about that season, it didn't just appear for the Lakers. Every team had that advantage or disadvantage.
I
It
mean,
wasn't just
everyone.
the
Yeah,
Lakers.
I know it was everyone. Everyone had the same 4 month layoff.
Yeah, what? Yeah, if anything, like that
And do
hurts
y'all
you.
remember the Lakers? Do y'all remember the Lakers before the pandemic happened? Do y'all remember that weekend before the pandemic when they
LeBron was
had just
destroying
beat Milwaukee
everybody.
and the Clippers?
The Clippers.
He
Yeah,
was going to
LeBron
win.
destroyed everybody.
He was going to win MVP if it
He
wasn't for the
should have won
pandemic.
MVP. He should have won MVP. It wasn't even a question. He beat everyone who's in that conversation. He should have won MVP.
I still lean toward AD that season, but
I
it was
think
close.
Giannis ended up winning it that year, but I think
Hmm.
LeBron was the MVP that year.
LeBron was the MVP. Anthony Davis was the defensive player of the year. They gave them both to Giannis.
Defensive player of the year, yeah.
Yeah, they gave them both
AD,
to
LeBron was
Giannis.
yeah.
It
AD
was
led the
LeBron was
team in what?
26 that year.
Yeah. AD led the team in everything except assists. Everything.
Yeah,
Points,
LeBron was
steals, blocks.
2016. I
Yeah.
think it was
I mean, LeBron would average
17.
LeBron led the league in assists, right? That was monstrous.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that was a
just
great
thinking
season. Oh, Johnny,
because
no.
I thought, and it's crazy because Giannis ended up winning MVP and DPOY that year, and it actually
yeah.
literally should have went to LeBron and AD.
And you did like it should have. I don't. I mean, some people didn't even vote Anthony Davis All NBA. That's how much they
Ridiculous.
despise the Lakers. They didn't vote him All NBA.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot. That's proof here because we're seeing a lot of people's takes are just literally translated to "I hate LeBron, so he's not in my top 5 or 10." Especially because everything they're saying can be applied to other players. It's not just a LeBron fact that you think is a flex. Like when you talk about team help or missing playoffs, like none of that is just LeBron. Like, come
But do
Yeah,
on.
y'all think?
every knock they give LeBron, you could do it to everybody, but they don't
Yeah,
understand
there's
that.
no
They don't know
perfect
how to put
player.
two and two together. They don't know how to put two and two together.
You don't think Jordan wanted to play with other great players?
Yeah,
I just want y'all to say never so I can prove you. Say the word never.
They
Okay,
don't
because
even know
y'all
about
already
Michael Jordan. All they know is Michael Jordan had 10 scoring titles and won 6 titles.
So King's
That's
Speech,
all
if
they
you
know.
say he's in your top 10, that's great. But I mean, make the argument that you've seen, let's say, 9 better
Well,
players,
I
and
mean,
why.
he tried to make the argument for Kobe, and it was like the worst argument ever for Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. And
The
Denny Mac,
worst
I'm
argument
not
ever.
just saying hater just to say hater. I'm saying when you're saying reasons that are just literally based on hate, that's when I say hater. Because you're not giving legitimate reasons as to why, he can't be great.
He said something about you cannot you if you miss the playoffs, you cannot be the best player in the league. But he said Kobe was the best player
Ridiculous.
when he missed the playoffs in 2005.
Yep.
When
I'll,
LeBron missed the playoffs, like his first 2 years when he was just coming to the league with a garbage squad and what, like 1 year and when he was injured in 19?
Like there's so many better arguments for Kobe Bryant than what he was trying to say.
Better
He
arguments
said
than
he
Kobe?
said
Well,
yeah, I mean to say that you could be the best player in the league and miss the playoffs, but if someone else do it, it counts. But when Kobe do it, it don't count. Like make a better argument for Kobe. Come on now,
yeah.
it's
What's the
ridiculous.
argument for
Like
Kobe?
he said that Kobe Bryant was the best player in the league in 2004 because he made the finals. I said, well,
That's
like
ridiculous.
what about any other player that makes the finals and lose? Oh, it don't matter. Like
so he
come
made
on
the
now.
finals in 2004. He made the finals in 2004 and missed the playoffs in 2005.
I mean,
Yeah.
he said, I said, well, why was LeBron the best player in 2007 when he made the finals? He said,
Kobe
well,
was making the playoffs on the bench.
he said, well, he didn't have a NBA title. All right, so why was Michael Jordan the best player in 1989? Oh, that's different.
So wait, does Kobe get a pass as the only top 10 player in
Oh,
that we
oh
ever
my
talk
goodness.
about to have
Uh,
been? So wait, does Kobe get a pass for being the only top 10 player to have made the playoffs while being not even being a starter? When he was drafted to a team with 3 All-Stars, including a prime Shaq? Make that make sense.
People forget he was drafted in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, 96? He was drafted 96 or 97.
Yeah. 96. And he had a team with Eddie Jones, Van Exel, like in Shaq. I mean, all these All-Stars. And then they were just getting their asses handed to them by the Spurs and Jazz.
swept
I
by
think
the
Cedric
Jazz.
Ceballos was on his.
Yeah.
Um, Eddie
He
Most
Campbell.
said
hated.
Kobe. He said Kobe was 18, but he discredited LeBron for 18 for missing the
Yeah, who
playoffs.
cares?
I
He was 18.
mean,
So excuses. Here
make
we
up
go.
your mind.
Excuses.
Make up your mind what type of excuse you're going to use. Be
No,
consistent.
no,
Like
okay,
every take you have
Kobe
is
came.
bad. Every take you have is
Kobe came.
terrible.
You got to give him a pass because Kobe did come straight out of high school.
I'm just saying he's discrediting LeBron for missing the
Yeah,
playoffs as a
I don't.
teenager,
Yeah, I don't
but
care about that.
he's dismissing it for Kobe Bryant because he was a teenager.
Yeah, and then what? Kobe was didn't win a Finals MVP his first 3 rings. Can make that make sense, right? Like, what other top 10 player has that happened to? None.
He said he
Okay,
called LeBron a top 5 players with no playoffs at 20.
what? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Like,
Has anybody in your top 10? Has anybody in your top 10 besides Kobe averaged single digits like per game for a season? Anybody else in your top 10 besides Kobe?
guaranteed not, because they all started because they were all better.
Man,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
he come up here, he says stuff that he's not consistent with. Then he's put in the chat stuff that he's not consistent with. Like all we ask for you is to be consistent. If it's discredit somebody, it has to discredit another player the same way. You can't make caveats for one player and discredit another player for the same exact thing.
yeah. And like I said, I guarantee none of your arguments are going to have anything to do with numbers or stats or total accolades because that would just kill your narratives, right? You're just talking about quote unquote best player. How do you determine that? There wasn't one season where Kobe had better stats than LeBron, right? Except for what, like maybe '06, but that was scoring wise. He was still like less efficient, less rebounds, less assists, less blocks, less steals. So I mean, what conversation do you want to have on that? Like, when did Kobe prove that he was the best player? Like when he was, got transcendent Pau Gasol, like great playoff run, fantastic. But he was missing the playoffs without that kind of help. Same way as LeBron and everyone else was too.
Like we're not hating on Kobe Bryant. We're hating on what you're saying, how inconsistent you are. Like if you say Kobe Bryant's the best player in 2004, fine. That's no problem. A lot of
Yeah,
people think Kobe in 2004 was the best player, but the reasons that you're saying he's the best player does not make sense when you say something about someone else. That's all we're saying.
yep,
Like you're saying that the reason Kobe Bryant was the best player in the league was because he made it to the finals in 2004. But you don't give the
exactly.
same credit for any other players that made the finals. That's what we're saying. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Use a
and like
better
All
argument
we
why Kobe's
doing,
the best player.
all we doing is doing the same thing you doing. You're
Yeah,
breaking down LeBron's career, so now we got to break
yeah,
down everybody's career that you're having a
yeah,
conversation about.
yeah. Just
So
like he
we get to
said,
talk about everything.
yeah, like he said, 2005, Kobe was the best player because he won titles, and he cannot lose the best player in the league because he won titles before. But somehow, Michael Jordan in 1989 was the best player with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird won titles. Doesn't make
yeah,
any sense. Doesn't make any
yeah, and
sense.
in '04, Kobe was a 3-time champion. Okay, was he an MVP though? No. Was he a Finals MVP? No. And he had 3 rings already because he was playing with arguably a top 5 player of all time in his peak. Come on,
Definitely at that
and the
time.
best coach in history.
Yeah, rap God. Yes, I know Kareem won the MVP when he missed the playoffs. Trust me, I know. I think that was the last year they allowed the players to do the voting for MVP.
Yeah,
I think that was
and
the last
again,
year. I think the media started from D after.
yeah. So King's Speech, when you say so what, this is like what you have to listen. We're using the same logic. We're using narratives. Those things that I mentioned, that King John mentioned, the Brandon, they're not things that I use to discredit Kobe. I have him as top 10 is specifically because I don't care what help he had or didn't have. Just the same way I don't care about the same exact way that I don't care about what help that Mike didn't have or did have, or LeBron or Shaq or Hakeem or Duncan. They all had their advantage and disadvantage. I care about what they did on the court. LeBron
Oh,
did more on the court than Kobe Bryant, and that's
he's is he saying we reducing players for having help? Was he calling
that's
LeBron and
not at
teams
all
a
what
super team?
we've
Was
never
he
done
calling
that.
his team a super team or something? Isn't that having help?
Dude, if I reduce players for having help, then I wouldn't even have Kobe or Magic top 15.
I mean, he just talking about LeBron having super teams. Isn't that having to help with teammates?
I mean, but just
Why
think
are you
about this.
reducing LeBron then?
LeBron had
Kareem,
exactly had a prime weight exactly what 1.5 years,
If that.
wait a minute.
if that.
Kareem and Magic is in most people's top 10.
Yeah,
They're teammates.
yeah,
I
Kobe
mean,
and
think
Shaq
about
is in most people's top tens, and they were teammates.
yeah. If you're reducing the players for having help, then those all these guys, not even Larry Bird, then they're not even going to be your top 10, right? Because they had the most help ever. Same thing with Mike to a degree, right? Like, come on, we don't care about that. That shouldn't matter to you. It's about what they did, what they accomplished, what their resume looks like. Period.
And then he going back talking about LeBron
Now we're
super
not shitting
teams.
on Wade at all. We're not shitting on Wade at all. I said LeBron had a prime Wade for 1.5 years. That's facts.
I don't even know if he
Wade's one of my
listens.
favorite players.
I don't even know if he knows how to listen because the things that he's saying
He
don't
doesn't
make
know.
any
He's
sense.
selective hearing. And I think '09 Wade was I mean, that was probably a top 15 season of all time, right? Fantastic player.
Wade was an all star after LeBron left Miami. I mean, Kobe Bryant was an all star coming off the bench. That doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, what? Yeah, when was he an all star? When he was averaging like 13 points a game? Come on,
he
dude.
won All Star after LeBron left.
Yeah,
Let me
what
see.
year was that?
He probably could have been. I mean, what the
In
He
like
missed the
Wade?
playoffs
2015?
that year.
Yeah.
I
Like his
mean,
numbers weren't
They
better
missed.
after LeBron left.
they could have gave him an all star.
It
He
would
was
have
an
been like
all
a Michael
star
Jordan all star, though.
in 16 and his last year because they gave him and Dirk the all star nod.
Lol.
Yeah, they gave him and Dirk the all star nod.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Okay.
I think the lesson is like just be consistent when you're talking about criteria. Because everything you're saying is ridiculous. Because you
Wade in
can't hold
15,
up.
Wade in 15 and 16 was not prime Wade.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Look at. You think that? Yeah. I mean, what is that? Some sort of a flex that he got a conciliatory all star?
Was Wade still on Miami in 16?
Yeah. Wasn't he in like?
When he playing for the Bulls? He's playing for the Bulls that
Yeah,
year.
yeah, he played the 17 because after 16, remember they didn't want to pay him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
'cause I
didn't want
think
to pay him after
I
that.
think y'all got to start paying attention to certain things. But
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look, he played 62 games. He was averaging 21 and 19 or 21 19. Yeah. So he was clearly on the downside of his career there, right? In 15 and 16, he made an all star averaging 19 points rather than yeah. His prime was '06 through 2011. That's just really that's all it was. Great prime for sure.
yeah, great problem. I mean, he went to Roosevelt High School, right there on 127, right off Casey.
Yeah.
I can tell you about Wade.
Wade's underrated, I think, a little bit.
He was kind of the surprise of the draft coming out of Marquette.
He's
I
the
didn't know if
third
he. I
best shooter
thought,
of all time. He ain't that
yeah.
much underrated.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just
Oh
saying
yeah,
coming out of. I was saying coming out of college. I was talking about coming out of college,
oh
underrated coming out of
yeah.
college.
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
know he was going so high.
I thought he was overrated. I didn't think he was gonna be good in the NBA. I didn't know why
I
they would
thought he was
draft
going
him
to be a
so high.
lottery. I didn't think he was going to be so. I didn't think he's going to come so high. I thought he's going to probably be number 13, 14
Yeah,
pick.
I was
Hmm.
confused. And then his first couple of games, I like, yeah, he had another
Yeah,
gear that I never seen. Just like Steph Curry, I didn't
yeah,
think
yeah.
Steph Curry was gonna be good in the NBA, but he worked on his game so much that he became legendary. But we don't know how hard these players are gonna work once they get you know to that level. And
Yeah, you
those are
see some of these
two.
players.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
He's
those are
unbelievable. You got
two.
to think, even like
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas, he was a second round pick, and you got to see how hard he worked. And I mean, they got a rule because of him now. so they can play their second round picks. I mean, think
I,
of players like some of these players work really hard on their game coming out of college and coming into the NBA.
I mean, it's just a lot of players don't get that opportunity to show who they are a lot of times. But once you let them get that opportunity, they sometimes knock it out the park. Just
Yeah,
look at
definitely.
look at sometimes when they have it like lockout, and you see players who are ready just to jump back in. You see players who are not because they're not as dedicated to their craft.
Hmm.
They live and breathe basketball. I know people like to shit on Jason Tatum, but he live and breathe basketball. That's all
Yeah,
he do is work
I mean,
on his
Tatum's
game.
having an underrated season. I
oh
He
think,
yeah,
has an
right?
underrated season every year. That's the problem.
yeah, every
Every
year.
year,
Uh,
every year.
the
They like the dude averaged 30 points per game one year,
To
and
be honest,
nobody
I
even
hope
knows
that he
about
wins another title and gets a Finals MVP this
it.
year.
He should have had it this year because he's so underrated. They don't even look at what he was doing.
Yeah, let's go
He led
Celtics.
the, he led the
I don't
team in
know.
every category damn near.
I don't know what he can do to win a regular season MVP anymore.
He's never
I don't
gonna
know
win
what
it.
he can do. I don't think he's ever going to win a
He's
regular
never gonna
season
win it.
MVP
Not
because at
that
this
MVP
point,
player.
what can he do?
He's not the MVP type player that you're gonna vote for him. He doesn't have the narrative.
Because
You have to have.
he should have been Finals MVP.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that. I don't even think it should have been a question who should have been Finals MVP.
No, yeah, I mean, for sure, and I think it was just a sexy pick because you know how the media is
They
these
just,
days. But
they just want to shit on him.
yeah,
That's what it is. And
I think
Steve
with
Kerr didn't help.
Celtics, dude, I think Celtics, if they win this year, we'll start having a more serious discussion about where some of these guys rank all time, especially Tatum. I think, but it's harder than ever. People don't understand. It's harder than ever to win an MVP this year, or in today's league. I think
I
because like
mean,
you,
like,
You think Tatum going to be All NBA first team?
of
yes,
course
100%.
he
Okay.
should. He's
He definitely should.
like, look at Shea. They don't want to give Shea the MVP.
Yeah,
They
they
do
do.
not want to give Shea the MVP. They do
They
not.
desperately want to give it to him. Yeah,
They
that's
are
the reason
being
he's gonna win it.
they are being forced to vote for him because they don't want to give Jokic another MVP.
I mean, that's true too.
Like, they don't want to give it to him, but they have to.
Well,
Like,
Stephen A. Smith already signed off on it, so his disciples are going to also.
yeah, so
Yeah.
Jason Tatum has to be in one of those positions to actually get an MVP. That someone's having a great season that has multiple MVPs, and they have to give it to him. Like, that's the
Yeah.
only way. That's the only way because we all know who's the MVP of the league is this year. It's Jokic.
Clearly.
So, King Speech,
I'm
when you say
sorry.
watered down league, that's the exact opposite of then you say everybody putting up numbers. That means there's more talent and there's more from top to bottom. There's better talent in the league and that's not that. See, I don't see why people say that's a knock. It's not a knock on the '80s, '90s. And when you say there's more talent from top to bottom, that's just the evolution of not only just scouting, but like the way teams are built. Like you have to be able to like you can't just have six role players and six are like you have to
No,
be able to fit into a system.
you're saying
Like
it's a
it's
watered down league because
This is
because
the
the
problem
scoring's
with
so high.
this is a problem with a lot of Jordan fans.
wow.
Like, Scottie Pippen was first team All NBA and All Defense. How is that not a top 10 player? He did that 3 times in his career. How is he never top 10? Like that.
Hey King Speech, you know that Jordan is the only player to have played with a teammate. I'm sorry, to have won at least 4 rings with a teammate who finished top 5 in MVP and DPOY. Or I'm sorry, top 10 in MVP and DPOY the same season, 4 different times along with him. That's Pippen. Only player ever to do that. So miss me
I
if he
mean,
wasn't even top 10.
now I understand his takes. Now I understand his takes now.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it just anything to discredit.
You know. So you mean to tell me when Jordan left in '94, he wasn't a top 10 player?
Jordan was the best player. Like what I mean, you can say that
He was
who
third
was
in
better than
MVP.
Pippen and
He's
who was
third
better than
MVP
Pippen in
vote.
'94? Like you could say maybe David Robinson was for sure. I
David and
mean
Hakeem.
David King, Karl Malone, maybe Hakeem was, maybe Patrick
Damn.
Ewing. Uh,
Scotty
I had to
won
look at some.
MVP of the All Star game. And
Hmm.
Scottie Pippen was the All Star Game MVP that year. He on these big ass red shoes that year in the All Star
Yeah,
Game. And how
Brian
I remember because
Scalabrine was the best.
my little brother had those shoes was crazy. But yeah, I remember that.
I think Brian Scalabrine was probably top five in 1994 too. Pretty good. I mean,
I
it's
don't
just
think y'all be
yeah. I mean, they're
Scottie
all
Pippen
centers
gonna
though,
get
right?
discredited.
Yeah, you had
Scottie
like
Pippen
Glenn
gonna get
Rice.
discredited.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean Pippen's underrated. I mean,
he's gonna
especially from a two-way perspective.
he gonna be the most discredited player ever because you try to put Jordan. People try to put Jordan up in order to push him up. They feel like they have to discredit Scotty, and you don't need to discredit Scotty. Jordan is one of the best
Yeah,
ever to play the game, and you
yeah,
don't need to discredit Scotty to make Jordan look better. I mean, come on now.
guys, guys. I'm saying like it's when you what King John just said is 1,000% the issue. We don't care what help or who they played with, who they didn't play with. It's about what they did. Everyone you talk about who's top 10 has had that help. Kobe had help. Magic, Larry, Kareem, Duncan. They've all had more than their share of help. That's why they've been part of dynasties. It doesn't a consistent run doesn't happen if you don't have a great team. It just happens like that. It doesn't count
Facts.
against you because you're gonna be the best. The lion's share of that credit is gonna be done given to you. Like, come on. Like that's why. Obviously, we're not saying that Pippen was better than Jordan. We're not saying that Ginobili or Admiral was better than Tim Duncan. Just say we're not saying that. Well, I think Kobe was better than Shaq. Yeah, but I mean, or I'm sorry, or Shaq was better than Kobe. Excuse me. But I mean, we're not saying that Magic isn't a top 10 player because he played with Kareem and vice versa. Not saying that Larry Bird isn't top 10 because of the help he had. I mean, it's about the totality of your resume. I don't care how you get there. It is a team sport, 100%. You get the win because of the team. It's not 1 on 10. It's not 1 on 5. So come on, like you got to put that out of your head. It's all about the resume.
Facts. Facts. Hey, y'all gotta love the game, man.
Yeah,
I've always loved basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport since I was a kid. I played basketball. I love basketball, and I'm never going to stop loving basketball. And I wish everybody loved it the way I do, and I think everybody loved it differently. But I've never had to discredit one player to make another one look
hmm,
better.
yeah,
I grew up in Chicago in the Jordan and Scotty era, and Scottie Pippen was definitely one of my favorite players ever. And everybody knew Jordan was the best player, but I love what Scotty brought to the game. And the way we used to play here in Chicago, if you was the best player on the team, you had to guard the other best player on the team. And I believe that was attributed to what Scotty used to do on the court. I'm one of the best players, so I want to guard the best player. I think that came from Scotty. So
yeah. And we're not
How
shitting
does this
on
even help LeBron?
it. Doesn't
How
help
does
him.
that help LeBron? Like, I don't understand how that helps LeBron.
It goes back to what I just said. They think we're discrediting Jordan or something because he played with a great player. That's not at all. We just said that's not part of our criteria, dude, at all. Look at the Go James criteria that they've laid out. It has zero to do at all with the team around them at all. You won't find one bit of their criteria that has to do with who they played with. And no,
so
we're not shitting on Wade at all. We're just saying that his production wasn't what it was before LeBron joined that team.
you don't think Scotty was a top 50 player all time?
Yeah, 100%. What? He's top 30 at least.
Come on now, let's stop. Let's love the game. Come on, let's love these playoffs coming up.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I cannot wait. I'm gonna get
Hey,
a big.
hey, twin man, you better be scared because Detroit gonna take the Knicks out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely was.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
I think we got some games tomorrow. B Lee, that's gonna settle the positions in the playoffs. Um, So we know kind
Yeah,
of
because I know Golden State has to win to actually keep where they at.
yeah, they got to.
Twin men, Kobe should
They
go.
tied with Minnesota. So both.
Yeah. Do you think one of them tanks just to not play the Lakers or something?
I mean, I prefer the Lakers to play Golden State.
You think that's a better matchup than Minnesota? Maybe.
I mean, I prefer the Lakers to do that.
Think so.
Uh, I think they're better than both of them, but can Golden State move up? I don't think they can.
No, I was just looking at the
If Minnesota loses, they move up, right? No, because they're locked. They would be the sixth seed then.
Yeah, do
You're
they
right.
have
You're
a
right. You're right.
tiebreaker on Denver? Or well, they definitely don't have a tiebreaker on Denver. They can't beat them.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Clippers? So the highest they could get is to the fifth seed. I'm guessing. Let me see
Dude, I would
what.
love for the Clippers to make noise. That'd be hilarious if they just
Let
came
me
out of
see.
nowhere.
Let me see what their
it's the
record is.
tiebreakers, Brandon. I don't know.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
They beat Golden State one, two, three.
Jeez, are
Nope,
we
nope.
really getting? Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they can move up further. So it's going to be Denver versus the Clippers. It looks like.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about earlier. I think it's going to be Denver Clippers, and we're going to see what's going to be Minnesota or Golden State going to catch that six seed. Because after that, you got to play in the
I
play-in.
mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't think the Clippers could fall to the sixth seed if they have the tiebreaker, unless they don't have a tiebreaker versus the Timberwolves.
Okay, so let's just say. I mean,
Let
what
me
do you
see.
think?
I think
Like,
the Clippers want to stay where they at. I think the Clippers want to stay in a 4-5 game. I think that's what the Clippers want to
I
stay.
mean, that's the best spot to stay at because you have to play Denver no matter what, and then everyone is not no one's afraid of the Thunder.
Okay, see. Yeah,
no one's
No,
afraid of
no one's
Grizzlies
afraid
either.
of them. Everybody wants the Grizzlies, but no one can
Yeah.
have them.
yeah,
But OKC, only
OKC
team.
has them.
You know what? They might lose in the play-in.
yeah. They can lose in the
Shit.
play-in.
Yeah, they can. Let's say Mavericks go on a run, dude, and just like win it all. AD for the win.
Why is the Clippers
They are
symbol
five,
like that?
right?
I hate that
Yeah,
symbol.
Clippers are fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate
the
the. I hate the like,
Timberwolves have the tiebreaker on the Clippers.
dude. I just hate that the Nuggets are probably going to get bounced. I mean, I hope they win, but like, it's just that Jokic is so much better than that crap he's surrounded with right now. We'll see how they do.
So
Do,
the
do, do,
Clippers have to win. The
Yeah, they
Clippers
have to
have to
win.
win. If they
who they
lose, they
play?
could fall to the seventh seed.
Yeah,
They play
Who they
Golden
play?
State. Golden State.
Oh, they play Gold. Oh,
And if Golden State
okay.
shoot.
lose, they fall into the play-in.
When is that game? Tomorrow? What time? Want to watch it?
It's 2:30 my time.
Oh, so that's early
So,
as shit for me.
what's that? What? How long is that for you? 4 hours or 5?
For me, that's gonna be. I'm gonna check it down here. Oh, Nuggets. That doesn't mean anything. Clipper. That's 9:30 in the morning.
Damn.
Oh, let's check to see if Buffalo Wild Wings is even open that early. We'll see.
Man, when I used to live in
Minnesota.
Hawaii, I used to hate having to get up at 6 in the morning to watch NFL games.
Hey, B.
Oh,
Lee, what
Oh
haven't
God.
you lived there? What course you haven't lived there, B. Lee? Damn.
I played basketball, so I could go anywhere I want.
Dude, I
I
used to
get
play
it.
with.
I've never lived. I've been to a lot of places, but I never lived in certain places. But
I mean, well, I
uh,
played AAU ball, so we went
King John, I
everywhere.
used to lock Beely up and send that shit into row 5. We play. Jokic is another player
like I
with
said,
help. Oh God.
well,
I'm not.
B. Lee, this is the class I was in. I seen Kevin Garnett play. Say we played against his team, his senior year, and I tell people all the time, KG wasn't the best player on their team.
Oh, it was Roddy
It
Fields.
was Rodney. It was Rodney Fields who was the best player on that team, and he would have came out high school that next year if it didn't. He ended up having a car accident,
A car accident.
and
Well, wasn't that prom when he was going to prom or
yeah,
something? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, because people was giving him money. He was coming out. He was gonna be the
Yeah.
next. He was going. I mean, he was gonna have players coming out of the same high school back to back year. But Rodney Fields was the best player. We played against that team, and
yeah. He had too much hype to not go to the NBA. So he had too much hype. Like no matter what. Like when he got healthy and he had to play versus other players like overseas and stuff, they saw that he may not be a like NBA player, but that hype he had in like high school,
yeah,
he had to come out. Just like
he
what's
was
um Sebastian Telfair. He probably wasn't
Fairfax.
a,
Yeah.
a NBA type player, but he had that hype on him. Certain players got
What
that
was
hype.
the other guy named? What was the other guy named who he was better than LeBron? It was LeBron
Uh,
sophomore junior.
yeah, the one that like
Um,
LeBron bust his ass in the
yeah, yeah,
in the ABCD count.
uh,
I forgot
yeah.
his name, but yeah,
He had a lot of hype behind him too, and I was
yeah.
surprised he didn't come out.
That's because he didn't have the
Um,
grades. He didn't have the grades.
yeah,
Lenny Cook, yeah, Lenny Cook, yeah. He didn't have the
Lenny Cook.
grades.
Yeah,
So that was another player who had to go play versus other pros to see if he could get in the NBA. And
Dude, don't
he
get me
was
started on Jamal Mashburn in King's Speech. That's one of my favorite players ever.
Jamal. He played for Kentucky. But
Yes.
yeah,
So did everyone else.
yeah.
Or Duke. You kill it. Mashburn dropped 52 on Pittman. I mean, yeah.
Yes,
That's,
he did. He did.
yep.
That's a fact. I believe Jamal Mashburn was one of the only players. Jamal Mashburn and Grant Hill was some of the only players who gave Scotty trouble.
Yep.
well, besides
So
Penny,
does
give him all
Prime
the
Glenn
time.
Rice. You know how Mashburn was such a difficult, like when you watch that guy, he was long, lanky. He was a true stretch three. He could
He
shoot.
can strong. He was strong too.
Yeah. He was amazing. We didn't forget that King's Speech. We're just wondering where you're going with it. Like, what is that supposed to mean?
That Pippen's
Minnesota.
not good,
Is
basically.
that is
Minnesota
that
played.
trying to say Pippen wasn't
Definitely.
great defensively? Is that what you want
Minnesota
to talk
played.
about other players getting lit up? There are countless occasions.
He gonna be watching Bronny all day tomorrow. He gonna get the star
I
notch
know.
tomorrow.
Oh, he
Yeah,
says he
Brian
brought
is.
it up to highlight Pip wasn't a lockdown defender, which is ridiculous. Hey, people in the chat, King's Speech with the worst take of all time. Pippen wasn't a lockdown defender. You guys have fun, tear him apart, had Miller Lite wait for us. Worst take of the year award, King's Speech right there.
Hey, Bronny gonna get a start tomorrow. He gonna play 30. He gonna play 30 plus
Yeah,
minutes.
35 minutes.
Yeah,
2 points,
Hopefully
12
20.
turnovers.
2 points for turnovers. And one of the things about Bronny that's like impressive is like NBA players can't even keep up with Bronny. He's like driving past him all the time.
yeah. He's
Like
strong, fast,
it's crazy that like the pros cannot keep up with Bronny. Like he's getting to the hole.
easy.
Yeah,
I used to, when this first started, I was like, hey, I don't care. And I still don't. Like, I don't, Bronny does not move the needle. I don't care what he does. I think he's getting better. And I think if he wasn't LeBron, it just, he's being used as like a way to get at LeBron, right? And
Yeah,
like, no one, you're right. Like, I don't check to see, oh, what were Bronny's stats? Like, I don't give a fuck. He's just a guy trying to make his way. It doesn't affect my playoff predictions.
I
If it
mean it
doesn't
has
affect what
nothing
I'm
to
going to
do
talk
with
about,
that.
then I don't care.
That's nothing to do with that. Like we're talking about how talented he can be. He
yeah.
has he's very skilled, and people
Yeah.
want to shit on him because he's LeBron's son. And he's not averaging 20.
Hmm.
That's all it is. Like he's very talented.
He can
Yeah.
jump out the Brandon. He
He,
can jump out the
I
gym.
mean, he's talented. When you first saw him play, you
Yeah,
knew he was talented. Everyone always saying that Bryce is going to be better. Like Bryce is not going to be better than Bronny.
I think Bryce just had the he had the height, but
He doesn't really have that much more height than Bronny. Like Bronny
I,
is way more skilled. than
Yeah,
Bryce
Bronny.
ever
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they just want to say Bryce because they want to shit on Bronny.
I don't have any problem with Bronny at all. I mean, I would have. There's nothing. If you take a look back, guys, like there's nothing that he did that any of us in his situation would not have done. We're gonna say, no, I don't want that $7 million gun. I don't want to play in the league. I don't want to, you know, do that. Like, no, I'll just fuck off. Like, no one is gonna do that. Like, he gets so much unneeded hate. It's not like he's out there holding press conferences saying that he's the GOAT or he's gonna be the next big thing. He's very humble from what I've heard and seen. Obviously, he has a huge shadow, you know, because his dad's who he is. But I think he's doing the best he can. It's not like he's playing like 40 minutes a game or anything ridiculous. They're not trying to shoehorn him into the starting lineup like what everyone had predicted would happen. So it's just, I mean, who cares? Well, I really want to see what he does next year,
I
honestly.
mean, what Bronny is doing in the G League is extremely impressive. It's extremely impressive. Um, I remember my senior year, I was playing with some pros, just playing pickup ball because some of them went to like Gary and everything, so I was playing with them, and I just remember how they played, how quick they played, like everything about the pros having that experience compared to college, it was completely different how these guys played, and you see that Bronny is outplaying these guys in the G League, and they're talking about he cannot make it in college. Playing in the G League is a lot tougher than playing in college basketball.
He got better
Yeah, it
players.
is.
The G League got better players. It's
They're
the next level.
they're all college stars for one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like if you can't see that, and they're trying to shit on Bronny because he's playing in the G League, like no, like literally NBA players go down to play in the G League all the time.
Yes. All the
Like
time.
Mm-hmm.
there's like Max Christie. He used to play in the G League every game.
Yeah.
Basically, he used to play the pros in the G League. You see how much better Max Christie has gotten over the last 2 damn years. That's because he's been practicing and getting more reps, and that's why this year when they trade him, I wasn't too excited
Yeah.
about it because
Yeah.
he was just finding his way. He was just finding his way, fitting in
Mm-hmm.
perfectly with the Lakers. But they had to get him from the Luka because
They had to get Luca.
yeah, they had to get Luka.
They had to get
They
Yeah.
Luca.
had to get him.
I
But
mean, hey, we'll
hopefully
see if
he
it pays
still
off for him,
improves.
man.
Yeah. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it still plays off for him. And he's defensively he's really sound. Offensively, I remember watching him his first year and a half. Like he was missing easy shots. I like he just needs more reps. He just needs
That's all
more
it is.
reps.
That's all
Then
it
Who,
is.
this
Luca?
year, though, Max
Oh,
Christie.
Max Christie. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
then when he got more reps this year, he started making those shots. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's all Brady needs is more reps. That's all.
Well, it's like anything. I mean, you had like practice my product, and like you get weeded out real fast if you get the reps, you get the time, and you just aren't cutting it. That's why most players' careers are what, like 4 years,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you just
just
you flame out, you know.
yeah. I mean,
So
yeah.
and Lamar Jack, no, you're not alone, dude. Like even I'm not a Chicagoan, but I don't understand the Pippen hate. Like it's the hate is just to push a narrative for
I
Jordan.
mean,
Hey,
they hate Jerry Krause. So
Yeah,
hey,
you
you're. I
Lamar,
mean,
hey, Lamar Jack, you from the South Side or the West Side?
that's something that I haven't even seen. This like someone saying Pippen wasn't a good defender. That's desperation 101 right there, dude. Like Pippen's a top 5 all time defender. Like what are you talking about?
I mean, if Pippen's not a lockdown defender, who is?
Nobody.
That's all
Nobody.
I'm saying. Like if he's
Yeah,
not, who is?
he's
Okay,
talking
he's
about.
not. He cannot stop everyone from scoring points, but who can?
Yeah, exactly. Like your
I went
little
to
things about
I
who
went to
scored
Cor-
against
I
him. You're
went to
talking about some of the
Corliss,
better
Lamar
players of all
Jack.
time.
I went to Corliss.
Rose, okay.
Lamar
I'm saying
Jack, you know
wasn't.
what I'm talking about. He from Wow. I went to Corliss. I didn't grow up in the hundreds. As a kid, we actually moved to the Roseland area when I was 13. So I know what you're talking about.
King's Speech. I think the only who are the only players that you could say are consistently a better defender than Pippen. Like maybe Prime D. Rob Duncan.
I
I
mean,
mean
just
Hakeem.
you have to put him in with the wings. Like, who's a
Yeah,
better
I mean
wing
that's true.
defender than him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
what
you
better
can
wing
put
defenders are there than Pippen? Absolutely none.
my
I
daughter was
Like
a
mean,
working part Lamar
what
I
Jackson.
think
arguments
like
can you make? What argument can you make though?
the only argument you can like for a totality of their career, no one. I think like Prime Braun was on that level for maybe 2 or 3 years in Miami, like '09, maybe '09 to 13, but not certainly not to the degree Pippen was. Until maybe, I mean, Tayshaun Prince, obviously, '04.
I mean, you can say Kawhi.
Kawhi, yeah, obviously.
He did win two different Player of the Year, so you have to say Kawhi.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's true. Michael
there's
Cooper was up there for.
yeah, there's not too many
I mean, yeah, there's really not too many. Like when you think about it, like
because to be a great defensive player, you have to sacrifice your offense.
yeah,
And how many players have done that?
yeah. I mean, exactly. Like we think about the best players, the best two-way players, and or the best defenders ever.
Like yeah, like Cooper, he didn't sacrifice his offense because he was an
Yeah,
offensive threat.
yeah. And this isn't like a knock on Bill Russell, but that's basically all he did.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about, he was
Well,
just that guy.
yeah, we talk about a big man. Of course, he goes in there with all the other big
Yeah,
men. But wing
I mean,
defender,
it's
I mean,
yeah.
look
Wing
at
defender, it's Pippen. It's not close.
yes. Soon as Kawhi took over more of the offensive load, his defense wasn't the same. Like
Yeah,
Scottie
because
Pippen's the
you're
only
purposely
player.
doing that. You're purposely
Yeah,
kind of picking and choosing your moments, right? Because you have to be the best on both sides. Like who
yeah.
was the best on both sides for their team, like during their entire stretch? Like it's tough. There's like a handful of guys, maybe.
He said Scotty had somebody flame him out. What do that mean? Because
What?
a player had a good game versus Scotty, that means he ain't a lockdown defender.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the
well, no
bottom
one
line.
is. No,
Name one
nobody
player at
is.
King's Speech who's never had anyone have a good game against him.
I mean,
Oh wait,
that's and like I said, he's not being consistent every time he speaks.
yeah, that's the most inconsistent thing I've ever heard. Like there was someone who never had a game. Like even when you say regularly, there's no one you can name who doesn't meet that criteria. Name one player, and
And
I'll tell you who lit
I
them up
mean,
regularly.
name one player who had a defensive role like Pippen and averaged.
Kobe Bryant has 12 all defensive selections. He got his ass smoked regularly by T Mac,
I
LeBron,
mean, Gilbert Arenas
Vince,
gave him 60.
Gilbert Arenas,
He gave him 60. What you talk? Come
AI,
on now. Come on, he gave him 60.
40-year-old Jordan. Come on. Multiple people have Pippen's number. Same thing with everyone else.
I
It's
don't
not a
think they,
flex. It's not a flex you think it is.
I don't think they pay
Definitely not.
attention to what they say sometimes.
They don't. It's the dumbest thing ever, dude. Like
I
who
tell you,
regularly flame Peyton? Dude, take your pick. Mitch Richmond, Jordan usually. Uh, Eddie Jones would give him buckets. Glenn Rice, anyone he guarded, and you can't use the size argument too.
Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway, Mashburn, when they would switch off. Who else was there?
I mean, Gary Payton also played in an
Iverson.
era that you couldn't put him on like an island like it is today.
Yeah,
So maybe that helped him because it was more slower pace.
King's Speech. That's exactly you just cooked yourself, dude. The best of the position you're talking about are the people who flamed quote unquote Scottie Pippen. There, okay.
I don't think they
I mean,
get
it's just the dumb. That's gotta be like a top 5 dumbest argument of all time. He's not a good defender. So Hakeem's not a top 5 defender because 30-year Shaq scored 30 on him. That's so stupid. Oh god, it's so ridiculous. But yeah. So Henny Hardaway, remember to do that. Tell us your take or what you want us to do. But if you pick the debate, like you tell us what to talk about, then we'll chop it up, or we'll do the 4-way debate thing with you on here. You just got to pick a topic that has at least 4 viable answers. Okay, otherwise it's not going to work. So, King's Speech doesn't want this smoke table upon. Believe it. We would do a segmented debate if
I
he
mean,
did.
he did come on and he was just all over the place.
Yeah,
He needs to sit down and think about what he's going to say next time he come up because you cannot have caveats for every different player.
yeah. He was a lockdown defender by any and all metrics. It's
I
just
mean,
so ridiculous.
he, he doesn't believe the things he say. That's the problem.
That's true. You can't really argue like when someone just says this isn't like something that's obviously a lie, and you're like, here's stuff that proves it's a lie. You're like, no, not according to me. Then those are people you really just can't talk to. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, he already got his mind set. So
yeah. If you can't recognize you made a mistake, what's the point?
Yeah. King's Speech. If we did a debate and we had like impartial judges, all I would have to do is like show them Pippen's resume and like the numbers, and they'd be like, okay, there's zero argument to the contrary. Thanks.
That's like saying 4 plus 4 is 5. Then when everyone tells you it's 4, then you like, well, it used to be 5 before. Like, no, it never was 5.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like,
Side door unlocked.
Oh dear. So we've been here for about 2 hours. What is like any other takes? Like we covered the defense, we covered some. Oh yeah, maybe playoff predictions. What do you think? Let's just say if anything was just like today going to the playoffs. What'd you say?
I will still have the Lakers versus Boston.
Okay.
I would think. Um, I don't know who you guys think will win between Denver and the Clippers.
I was saying earlier, I think that's going to be the best first round series in the playoffs. Denver and the Clippers.
What you
Uh,
think? Who you think gonna win?
I think the Clippers will win.
For real? What about you, Travis? Oh, of course you got Denver.
I mean, I want to say Denver, dude, but like it's just what kind of Jamal Murray are we gonna get? Is he even gonna play? How's the coaching situation gonna affect them? Because they're in turmoil right now. I mean, it's just so tough. I mean, I think the Clippers right now are like on a better place as a team, but I'm still taking Jokic. He's the GOAT this year. But I don't know. I think Nuggets win that series, but I wouldn't be surprised if
Well,
they lost just because their defense is
well,
terrible.
well, well. The first playoff game is tomorrow versus the Wizards. Not Wizards. The Warriors and Clippers. So, like we said, like the Clippers could
Yeah,
fall to the play-in,
they can. Yeah, 100%.
so they don't have a choice but to win. And then
Yeah,
Um, if the Warriors lose, I think they fall into the play-in. So both of them, they trying to get out the play-in. They
the,
have to
the,
win.
that's
So
gonna be the game, man. I'm
I
watching. I'm
only
getting up.
like I want the Lakers to play the Warriors because so LeBron can send Steph Curry home again. But I don't
Again,
think we're gonna get it. I don't think we're gonna get it.
yeah, I've been thinking this is going to be the Lakers in Minnesota for a while
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So,
I don't think we're gonna get it.
so
Well, I
But
mean,
I do have a question. Like, why is it that we are more concerned about what happens in the West than in the East?
because the East. I mean, I think that. I mean, it can be a dogfight. I think there's a lot of teams that we love and would like to come out of the East. Uh, right? Like, I really want either the Bulls or the Magic to make a run because I love their stories this year and I love their squads. But I'm taking the Celtics. Unless I don't want to disrespect Cleveland, but I just think Boston's better right now.
I mean, like the only player, or like they only want to see Cleveland versus Boston. They don't know how they get there or the other teams what they're doing. But every West series is like a must watch.
I mean, low key, if Cleveland comes out or of the East this year and wins it all, that would be an insane story. Like we would study that this season for them, right? Like that's
you would have to study that.
yeah.
I
It would.
Cleveland.
mean, the Cleveland blew out the Lakers every time they played them the last 2 years.
Well, that won't change. Don't
But
worry.
it's different now. We actually have Luca, so it'll be different.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see who comes out. I mean, I really, like I said, I love the Magic, and I hope they come out, but they're too much of a dark horse, I think. But we'll see. It's still the smart money is really the real money, but it still says Celtics Thunder. But I don't know, and I think everyone there's a lot of parity. It can be anyone, just depends on who's hot. But home court advantage for Thunder is gonna be tough.
I've talked to a lot of people, and I haven't heard nobody say they believe in Cleveland. Nobody.
They're
I mean,
getting slept on, man.
I
just
mean,
because
I
the
definitely
Celtics have
believe in
looked
them.
amazing.
I mean, Cavs look better than them all year. So
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're talking about with the Cavs. They have to prove in the playoffs. Why?
No,
They
yeah.
proved
Why
it.
would they? Unless they become a completely different team.
I mean, they've been the best team in the East.
Yeah, they
Like
have.
I know I'm picking Boston, but I don't know. It's going to be a close series when they meet in the conference finals.
It will have to be the
And if the
conference.
Cavs win, I don't think nobody will be shocked
No,
because
nobody's
they
gonna be
Oh,
should
shocked.
nobody
win.
be shocked, no.
They actually should win, but we're going because they the defending champions. So Boston should win.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really tough. I mean, I think I want to say the West is gonna be a dogfight too, but because like you really just I don't know. I really just think the Thunder on a 7 game series is gonna be hard, super hard to beat,
I
just
mean,
because
just
of
like
those.
yeah, like I believe that the Cavs and Boston will probably beat the Thunder if they make
Mm-hmm.
it in the finals. And the only reason I don't think the Thunder is going to make the finals because I think LeBron and Luca will play well versus them. That's what I think.
I mean,
I
I'm
think
not
of
gonna
all the
sleep.
teams, the Lakers have the better chance of beating OKC in the West.
They do have a better chance. I don't think that they'll be able to sustain that for a 7 game series. There's no way.
How? What you mean?
I mean, I don't think the Lakers are gonna beat Golden State if they're matched up. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't think the Lakers will have an issue with Golden State.
I,
Okay.
I, I think if the Lakers want to play any team in the Western Conference Finals, I actually think it is OKC. Like, I think they want to play OKC in the Western Conference
I
Finals.
mean, that's the only team that's going to give them trouble. No other team is going to get them any trouble.
Really? You think any team will give them trouble? I mean,
I don't know what team it would be.
I think that I think that any team that they face there could give them trouble. I mean,
I don't
like I
see
said, I don't think on a
OKC.
they haven't been better than Houston all year, right? I know they beat them
Yeah,
like recently,
they're
but
definitely going to be Houston. I don't think it's going to be an
But
issue.
the
I
way
think that
the way
Golden
it's
State
set up,
matches up well.
the way it's set up now, OKC will, in the second round will play the winner of the
Denver
Denver
and
Minnesota, yeah,
yeah,
Clippers Denver.
losing, yeah.
and
So
I don't. Yeah, I don't think Denver is going to be the same team after all this stuff that's going on. So I don't think they're going to be the same team. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe OKC should beat them, but I wouldn't be surprised if I Denver most likely should beat OKC, but I'm gonna just give it to OKC.
Denver should beat them. Nah, Denver's defense is Swiss cheese, dude.
I mean, that doesn't really matter. It's the playoffs.
I mean, it is the playoffs, but you got to win 4 games, right?
Yeah, and
So
they have shown with their core that they
yeah,
could do it.
I think that. So the Lakers, the Lakers, I mean, they have been obviously better defensively, but I think that they have problems. Teams have figured out their defense. I think. I mean, obviously they're still winning some games, but they've been playing 500 ball like the last part of the season, like the last 15 games or so. But I just think that I don't think that they can consistently play offensively the way they've been, especially teams are going to make adjustments. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I don't want to sleep on the Lakers because obviously Luca and like Braun is still playing amazingly.
I don't know what adjustments you're gonna make for LeBron
Oh,
and
dude, I
Luka.
mean,
I don't see
there's a
any.
bunch
I
of
don't
good play.
see
I mean,
there's no
you really
adjustments that you could make for those two.
it
and the way
depends on your
LeBron is
personnel, man.
playing,
Depends on the matchup.
No
the
personnel.
way
There's no
LeBron is
matchup
playing,
that's going to
it's
limit those
crazy.
two in the NBA. Unless you
The
have
thing with
Kawhi
OKC is
Leonard and Scottie Pippen on the same team, there's no adjustments that you're going to make. And we saw Luca carve up Kawhi Leonard and Paul George year after
Consistent.
year.
yeah. Luca
Yeah,
also gets destroyed defensively. Like teams were hunting the shit out of that guy. Like, and that
Well,
matters.
yeah, it does if you have the right guard who's going to drive and score. If you don't have that
Which
guard,
everyone was
it's
driving in on.
but you have to have the right player. You could if you single out Luca every possession, you're just going to ruin your offense
Well,
unless
I'm
it is
not
in the
single him
flow.
every possession, but like
Yeah,
obviously
unless
there
it's
were
in
a
the
lot of
flow.
yeah.
Like
Like
like Fox, if Fox is singling out Luca and he's going to the hole, he's scoring every time.
he was making
But
Halliburton look like a top 5 player in the league, dude, when they were playing him. It was
but
ridiculous.
the tough part about that, Brandon, is if on the other end, Fox will have to guard Luca, and
that's
And actually, I think Fox would get in more foul trouble guarding Luca. So
Yeah, so you have to have the right player to single out Luca all game to actually make it
Yeah.
worthwhile to do.
Well,
yeah,
plus you
Or you
also
got to
have to
pick
have.
your, yeah, you got to pick the time of the game you're going to do it too. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's really a perimeter oriented game. Like, there's not going to be a bunch of big men that they have to worry about, right? Other than maybe Jokic in the West, right? Or he's in a
and if they, I don't even think they're going to make it there. That's the problem. They won't even
yeah,
see Denver. Denver has
right.
some tough matchups. If they got to play the Clippers and then
hmm
OKC, if they get through that to the Lakers, they're not going to be the same team. They're going to be like when the Timberwolves beat them. They're going to be exhausted.
Dude, I still think Lakers go out in the first round, but like, that's just me.
Yeah,
We'll
I mean,
see.
you
I could be
want them all in
wrong.
the first round,
you
but it's
want the
not going to happen.
Lakers to
There's
go in
there's
the first
there's no
round.
team. There's Minnesota or Golden State.
I think they're a better
Have a chance.
Minnesota's a better match, but I think Golden State handles Lakers
Golden State
over
definitely
there.
won't. They definitely
They're a different team with Jimmy.
they might get swept if they play Lakers.
No, definitely not happening.
That's not what they want to do. That's not what they want to do. They probably prefer to play the Lakers than being a play in because they struggle to play in.
So do you think do you think Golden State would prefer to play the Lakers or Houston?
I'm pretty sure they prefer to
Lakers.
play Houston.
They know the Lakers, man. Like they're way more familiar with Lakers. They know how to beat them. Like they just walk
I
into
mean, they
They
won
only
one
beat
out
them
of
once.
four.
They
They
beat
won
them
one
once.
out of four.
that was yeah, but that was without Jimmy Butler. Like Jimmy is here now. Like that's a different team, dude. Like
All right, Trav, you just saying stuff now.
they're a completely different team. Like ever since I traded, what are they like 22-3 or something? It's
And they about
insane.
to be in a play, and they about to be in a play in.
Well, they wouldn't, dude. They wouldn't have set the plan without Jimmy.
Yeah, and they about to be in a play in
The
tournament.
team got transformed. It's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say the Lakers can't win because healthy, that's a scary team, especially when you have like a top three player in the league. But it's not like the Lakers are playing world beating basketball right now. So we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a great playoffs. There's a lot of parity. I'm more interested in who comes out of the East myself, but we'll see.
I don't think you worry too much. You talking about coming out east to the finals?
I mean, I know, like I said, I hope, yeah, I hope that it's a dark horse team and not like the one that we expect. That would be fun, super fun for me. But
I can't see that. I can't see that. Well,
obviously,
it's
no.
possible. It's possible.
Yeah,
It's
we'll see.
possible, but I just can't see it.
Are you guys ready to get out?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, okay. Reminder to Henny: do your diligence, bro. Get in Discord. Tell us our duty, whether it's a topic or debate, whatever you want, and for next week, and we will see everyone tomorrow. Shout out to the chat, and yeah, we'll do it bright and early.
All right,
You
make
going
sure
on, Coach?
everybody tune in tomorrow to GJK at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
I guess
me
doing a
it's 6,
playoff.
dude. So whatever.
Yeah,
We'll find out when we go live. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out right now.
All right.
Anyway, all right, then. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
All right,
Really.
peace out.